It's honestly the best.
Hello, what have we here?
You guys are so funny.
Got way too into it.
Hello. Holy
Can you hear that or no?
Ain't C3 penis face?
I mean, I can hear the sounds.
Oh, okay.
Cannot hear it clearly. That Heath Ledger picture in the back is awesome.
Yes, sir.
May the force be with us. Fucking A.
Good day, Galaxy Rogue Squadron podcast. We're here again. You know who it is.
We're always here.
How are we going to do a show and not be here? I am Mopar.
I am Commander Cody.
We have our special guest, Anthony, with us.
Say hi.
Hi.
He said hi.
Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me. Could you not hear me say hi?
We
No,
heard
I
you.
heard you. I just was expecting a little more than...
It was almost too clear. I was offended.
Sorry. Hey, everybody.
That's more like it.
It hurt my feelings.
That sounds like you. That sounds like you. So Anthony, for anyone that wasn't familiar, was with us back on episode number 50. One of our fans' favorite episodes of all time. So we're really happy to have him back and
reunited in the squadron.
see where the belligerence takes us this time around.
I gotta be honest, though. I want to put something out there, just a little bit of a disclaimer. So originally, it was put out that I was the one who came up with Recklessly Brewed by Strangers. So technically, that's true. I was the one that put the caveat "brewed by strangers," but Paul is the one who came up with that, and then I just added on to it. So let's give credit where credit's due.
God damn right. Sorry.
What I missed. I had to turn the fan off. It was too much noise.
Recklessly
So we were
brewed.
just talking about how we probably should start a show together without you.
That's fine.
You're fired.
I don't have much more extra time anyway, so that's cool.
Welcome
What's it
to the
gonna be
Rogue Squad
called?
Podcast with T-Dot and Mopar.
What's it going to be called? Recklessly Brewed by Strangers?
That's what we were
Yeah.
just talking about.
I knew it.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
No, I was giving Mopar his credit because he was the one that actually said Recklessly Brewed, and I added on with strangers, but he deserves the credit because he's the one that put the idea in my head. I didn't come up with that.
I telepathically knew what the name of the podcast was going to be, so you might have to include me in that one.
Well, were you the one that actually chose it?
No, I'm just saying I unplugged my headphones, I went to turn the fan off, and then when I came back, I knew they said something about Recklessly Brewed by Strangers.
Oh, yeah.
I knew it happened. I knew
I
it.
We
actually-
really like Shock Top.
Yeah.
Yes.
I go back all the time and listen to our conversation about Padme crowning in the Nubian. Oh, my God.
It's one of the
I was
craziest
just
parts.
talking about Natalie Portman to somebody, right? So she claims to be like from Israel, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Here's the deal. I'm pretty sure she's the kind of Israel, like that chick that goes to Italy for like 6 months and some kind of study abroad thing, and then comes back and is like, I'm Italian now.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's how she's from Israel. Like, I'm not buying a Natalie Portman. You're from California. Get out of
Right.
here.
I had some curry, so I'm Indian.
She's from Geonosis, goddamn.
Oh, no. That's a bad
Actually, isn't
plan.
she from Naboo?
No, I know.
I know. She's got them bugs, though.
Well, Lucas spent so fucking long on the droid factory scene, I just had Geonosis stuck in my head. Sorry.
What are you talking about? That was the best part of the movie. Doesn't everyone want to see people dodging GM car parts?
Yeah.
That's why episode 2 is my favorite, honestly, is because of the droid factory scene.
Dear God.
Did you guys see the face I made when you said episode 2?
There wasn't even enough sarcasm in that sentence for it to apply, so I apologize.
Although the moments on Geonosis after the droid factory are actually pretty entertaining.
That's the best part of the movie, yeah.
The Clone Wars begin.
What's the point of the movie? They just forgot to include it until 2 hours in.
And they forgot to not include the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Forgot to take Aiden Christensen out of it, too.
Yeah. It
I could have
happens.
sworn they were supposed to cut all his scenes.
You're just not in this one.
I could have sworn. Yeah.
They could probably got away with just showing Obi-Wan fly to
Just show Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
Hit.
He finds out about the clones.
Yeah.
He goes to Geonosis, gets trapped, and then everyone flies in and saves him.
Well, just like people have said about episode 1, like Qui-Gon, I know we love Qui-Gon, especially you, Anthony, but Qui-Gon didn't even need to be a
Greatest Jedi
character.
ever.
It could have just been Obi-Wan.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Qui-Gon's the greatest Jedi ever.
Yeah.
Far-fetched.
You know, wait, so hold on. So here's the deal. He is not the greatest Jedi ever by far.
That's why we're laughing.
But he is very much my favorite Jedi. And the main reason why I like this guy is because he didn't give a shit what the council told him.
There you go.
The council would be like, Qui-Gon, you can't do that. And Qui-Gon would be like, well, the Force is telling me I can, so screw you guys, I'm doing it.
Force overrides
And like,
council.
He was so influential that Obi-Wan basically told the council, screw you, I'm training this kid because Qui-Gon told me to, and he has a certain set of skills.
Yeah.
He will find me if I don't train Anakin.
He's like the OJ of Jedis.
Oh, what?
All right. Well, before this intro
He
gets
does what
any
he
longer,
wants. He does what he wants, and he gets away with it.
before this intro gets any longer,
drives
we
a
got
white
to.
Clearly, dear God, Commander's trying to actually have an episode over here.
No, well, this is an episode. It's a good start,
bad.
but we have to at least. No, it's okay. Don't apologize. How dare you apologize?
Well, I know that I'm very good at diverting conversations.
Diverting
so-
is good in a podcast. It's half the point of the show in the first place, but we need a little semblance of structure at the beginning. So this is the Rogue Squadron podcast for anyone that may be tuning in for the first time. We are a podcast. We are live on Twitch at the moment. We got some people watching. Hopefully they will tune in and tell us what they're thinking and throw some shit into the conversation. But what we like to do at the beginning of every Rogue Squadron podcast episode is start with a beer review. And what we've done, since we have our friend Anthony via the interwebs, and he's all the way out in Oregon.
And I'm an alcoholic.
And he's an alcoholic, just like us. Perfect. We have
Well,
chosen.
actually, I'm a drunk.
He's
Alcoholics
a
go to meetings.
seasoned drinker.
Yeah, alcoholic has a lot of baggage with it.
Yeah, I prefer drunk. Alcoholics go to meetings and get in trouble. I don't get in trouble. I just get, shit-faced and yell at my family.
I prefer craft beer connoisseur. That sounds really fancy for someone that has to license to drink all day.
Craft beer connoisseur.
yeah.
That's my nickname.
Well, yeah.
That's what people who don't want to insult me call me because I'm always drinking different beers because they're delicious.
Yeah, I never had the same beer twice.
Never have it once. Never had the same beer once.
See,
Never
you
even had it
know
once.
what I've been doing the past 2 hours. So,
Having
So
the same
we-
beer more than once?
couple,
Don't have the same beer.
multiple times.
Have you had this beer all the time? Never. What? This guy's hammered. I like this guy.
So we picked an Oregon brewery, Deschutes. We had one of theirs on a previous episode. I believe it was back in the wintertime, and it was a winter beer. Anthony actually picked this one out. We want to make sure we could find one that we could both get on opposite sides of the country. It is the Hop Slice Session IPA. He's showing it on camera right now if you are watching on Twitch. A Session IPA, by the way, for those who are not familiar with the term session, just means it's a lower alcohol content. So the term comes from when you love beer and you want to be able to drink a lot of beer because of the taste, but you don't want to get completely hammered. That's where the term session comes from.
Also, those IPAs in general tend to have a lot more alcohol than regular beers, and that's why these exist, so that you can have IPA and not get shit-faced.
They
Exactly.
hide that shit too. It
Exactly.
just tastes like a bitter slur of beer,
Right.
and it's like 10.5%. And after two of them, you're like,
A bitter slur of beer.
what else
That's
do you want to
exactly
fucking
how-
call it?
In his defense, that's exactly how you feel when you drink an IPA.
That's true.
The
That's true.
slur.
I won't argue against that.
So, and actually, I think there was a number to it. So, session is under 5%.
Yeah, I agree with that. I am actually sipping on an Arrogant Bastard, so I need to finish this before we start.
Ugh. So
Wait,
last
wait.
time I wore this for you. See if I can get this shit off.
Woo!
Yeah, you know, buddy.
I got bad news about the NBA, man.
Weren't on the last episode, weren't you raving about LeBron? What was that little...
No, we were talking about Steph Curry a lot and Kyrie,
Oh.
but
Well, so number one is this. I said from the beginning it was going to be Cavaliers Warriors again.
Yeah.
I said I wanted the Cavs to win, but I didn't know if it would happen. I'm glad they won. I'm glad LeBron won. He fucking deserves it. He's been the best player in the NBA for the last 13 years straight, hands down. There is no argument. Anybody else has been the second best player who just happens to be more popular.
Yep.
But I think I'm done with the NBA.
Why is that?
It's turned into the WWE for me. I see through it. It looks like Vince McMahon's in the back going, "You're gonna win tonight, LeBron."
hey, that's fine with me as long as LeBron's names keeps being called. It's fine
I
with
mean,
me.
I'm still gonna watch it. I just don't think I could take it as seriously.
How
as I
are you
used to.
done? I'm done with
I'm
it.
done.
Clearly
I'm gonna
gonna
watch
watch
it,
it,
but I'm done.
Watching every case.
Well, here's the deal. Once the WWF became fake for me, I still watched it for like a decade before I was like,
I just didn't like it.
me. Right. I still, don't get me wrong. The NBA is probably one of the things I love most in this world. So even though I'm very upset with how it's going, I feel like I'm still gonna watch for the pure athletic portion of it, but I'm not gonna be invested in it like I used to be. And I'm pretty sure before too long, I'm gonna be like, I'm not wasting my time with it because I'm starting to feel like it's all set up.
You're talking a lot about it right now for hating it.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm holding back because I've got some theories.
We got to move on. This is Rogue Squadron podcast,
This is the Rogue Squad,
fucking
not
LeBron
NBA
Squad
Twizzy.
pod.
and one radio by choice. Let's go.
All right, I got to pour mine out.
Real quick. And one, right? So I had a pair of and ones, and I was wearing them when I went to Korea, right? And so most people, not most, but a lot of people in Korea can also read Chinese because their language comes from Chinese and you kind of have to learn in school. And so I had these shoes and they had Chinese writing on them. And these shoes were called whatever they were called. And somebody was like, why do you have middle school written on your shoes?
Because they were half off, bitch.
No, reason why is because us dumb
Cole's
Americans
cash.
don't do no research.
Yeah.
We're just like Chinese lettering. That means strength. No, it doesn't.
Yep. Yeah, lucky it
Middle
wasn't a
school language
tattoo.
art teacher.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh, man. All right.
All right, so we're going to get to our beer review,
Like we said.
like
day
we tried
shoots
to say.
Session. Hop slice session.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Smells like a...
Sniff test, yep.
smells like a lighter
Smells like
IPA.
hops.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
it's... I'm getting more citrus and less floral. For anyone that's an IPA fan, you'll know that's a good combo for most of the IPAs is the floral notes and the citrus notes.
Now that you mention it, I do smell the citrus, but it smells like hops to me. I'm not a big IPA fan.
Well, you done fucked up.
Well, you picked this, so I don't know who to blame.
All right.
Oh, no, I'm going to drink every last one of these beers, and I'm going to enjoy every one. I'm just saying.
Mopar just didn't even cheers me.
It's time. Wow.
That's good.
actually
This
pretty
is
good
really
one,
smooth.
It's really smooth. It's got more malt than I expected, actually. There's some malt in there for IPA. You usually don't have that in those.
Bit of Billy D right
Just
at
a
the top.
little bit.
Malt.
A little bit of Lando up there on top.
Colt 45.
Did you guys see that Donald Glover might be playing young?
We talked about that last episode.
Yeah, that was
I
really
haven't listened to the
interesting.
newest episode. Sorry.
So what we talked about was it's just literally been suggested that he could because he's a black male about that age.
We don't even
and
know
he's
if
an
Lando's
actor.
going to be in the movie at all.
It said according to IMadeThisUp.org, this guy
According to
could.
DonaldGlover.com.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what Star Wars fans do. It's like, we're going to make a movie about Jabba. All right, I know who's going to cast Bib Fortuna, fucking Salacious Crumb, all these characters, and like they don't even end up in the movie at the end of the day by the time it comes
monkey
out.
Lizard?
The monkey lizard.
We could.
Didn't we just
Salacious.
call Jim Henson in them?
But I don't know if it's actually confirmed that Lando's going to be in the movie. It's just like, if it's Han,
Yeah.
here's your Lando. Throw him in
According
there.
to Comic
Let's
Vine,
make it
it's
happen.
a thing. And Donald Glover has already come out and been like, I hope it happens. Actually, I think it's a really good casting. He's
Yeah.
not just a black guy that fits the age. He actually looks like he could be young Billy D. Williams to me.
He's got
I
a
really think it's
swag.
a good casting.
He's got a swag around his
Right?
eyeballs.
All
like
of
he
this
just
right
knows.
here looks just
Well,
like Billy D to me.
No, I agree.
Think about this, though.
No.
If you get suggested as Lando, who's not going to come out and say, yeah, put Lando in that movie? Of course you want to be in Star Wars.
Right,
Hands
but
down.
if somebody suggested me to be Lando, that's a bad casting.
But you would also say, yeah, I'm down
I'll
for that
say,
shit.
Fuck yeah, put me in that movie, man.
I look
No,
exactly
actually,
like him.
If they passed that to me, I'd be like, no thanks. Unless we're
Don't-
bringing Darth Maul back.
Don't
and
talk
Jar Jar back.
Unless Qui-Gon.
Unless I get to meet Liam Neeson. It's off. And also, I want to meet Ryan Reynolds. I know that has nothing to do with Star Wars. Just make it happen, Disney. Get it done, Mickey Mouse. Tell me all my canon. All my expanded universe is not canon.
Billy D. I saw
We're still
actually,
talking about that,
Whoa,
huh?
so we can, before we forget about the beer review, but
Shit,
real,
we're supposed to be reviewing a beer.
real
Yeah.
quick, I did see something about an actress, a black actress, suggested for the role of Han's ex-wife.
Oh yeah, the one that had the baby, or the one that was messing with the clone trooper.
I don't know. I don't know the
In one of
background.
In one of those books, there's like a bounty hunter or like a smuggler or something who's like Django's ex and Han Solo's ex, and she
think
ends
so.
up messing around with a clone trooper named 989. Nate is his nickname. N989.
So she's just a whore.
Oh, well, she just has a type. She likes dangerous, rugged men
That
who
all look
fly
the same.
Weird ships in Star Wars Galaxy.
Legit. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a.
We haven't even thought about that much.
So, Before we jump around too much, we're gonna get back into this beer.
It's really smooth, man.
It's very, very smooth, very, very drinkable. I think it is taking off the edge of the extreme IPA. So if you are an IPA fan, but some of those things are so radical, so hoppy, so bitter.
If you love the bitter, this is not as bitter as a lot of them.
But it's still there. It's still prominent. What's the IBU?
This is a good IPA
45.
starter beer.
Yeah, that's a good point, Anthony. 45 IBU, which if you don't know, IBU is the International Bitterness Unit. It's what they use to calculate basically how bitter the beers
That's how they
are,
measure,
and mostly
that's how they measure my ex-wife's feelings.
bitter as fuck. Mostly for IPAs, and it's 4.5% alcohol. Obviously, it's a session, so it's lower. But yeah, I mean, there's a good amount of malt pronounced in there, which I wasn't expecting, and I really like. And because it's not as bitter as some of the IPAs, it's got a really good balance to it.
I think it tastes better than it smells.
I really, really freaking like this, man.
I can actually agree with that. I do not like IPAs, but this is actually not bad for me, and I'm not a big fan of the IPAs.
So our buddy Tommy Boy, we've been slowly warming up to IPAs over the past year and a half. This would be a perfect one for him.
I think so. Stepping
Do
stone.
you guys work for Big IPA? Why are you warming people up to IPAs?
Well, because we
You guys
became
IPA agents?
yeah, right. We became fanatics of them, and a
International
few of our friends were like not on
bitterness
board. We're like,
agents.
yeah, you need to fucking drink this shit because it's beer and it's good.
Oh, shit.
International, what is
I make myself laugh. International IBAs, International Bitterness Agents. Oh shit! I hear blips.
I'm an agent for that bitterness.
Whoops.
Yeah, sounded like some Skype blips.
I'm gonna give this a 3, man.
Are you
Yeah,
official?
yeah, I'm giving this a 3.
I'm gonna wait for Anthony.
I haven't gotten a nice malt touch on an IPA.
For an IPA, compared to all other IPAs I've had, I think I would give it a 3 also. But compared to everything else, I'll give it a 2. I mean, it's a good beer. It's
You gotta take it for what it is, though. You can't compare.
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah.
I'd give it a 3 compared to other IPAs I've had, but just compared to overall, I'd give it a 2. I mean, it's a decent beer. It's not bad at all. If somebody was to offer me one of these, I'd take it. I wouldn't be like, no thanks.
Well,
I mean, it's a good beer. It's
part of our rating system is would you recommend it to another person? So if someone else said, I kind of want to try a IPA today, and you would obviously say,
Think
well,
of
I
this.
got the fucking thing right here for you.
Yeah.
So
and,
three.
I think this would be a perfect beer for someone who's never had an IPA, who's like, what's IPA? Try this one, and if you like this, we'll move on to some real IPAs.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so for an IPA only, I might not give it a 3, but for beer in general,
But for a session,
I'm going 3.
I'll give it a 3 for a
I'm
session.
going 3, man.
That's good.
I'm going 3 for this motherfucker. So our rating system on beer, if you're wondering why we gave it a 3
Jesus.
and not a 10,
You just suggested this beer sleeping with other people's women or mothers.
sleep with everybody. It's that good.
It's like Han's ex-wife.
Oh, shit.
That's a beer.
Our rating system is 0.
Unacceptable.
We are just dragging that fictional character that is no longer canon through the mud.
Yep.
She's a good lady, though.
We're going to keep dragging
Fuck you,
until it
Mickey
pops up in
Mouse.
the movie.
Cheesy
Very
potatoes.
upset with Mickey Mouse, guys.
She makes some crazy cheesy potatoes with those sweet onions. Oh my god! No
All right,
wonder.
she doesn't actually make it. The
It's not
ship
goddamn
just
Thanksgiving
generates.
dinner.
Space onions. All right.
So our rating system is 0 to 3. 3 stars is the best of the best. Best beer we've had that we would recommend to anybody. So that's what we're drinking right now. You want to try an IPA? We're recommending this. You just want a good beer for the night? We're going to recommend this because it's fucking delicious. 2 stars is a good beer that's worth your attention. 1 star is worth trying at one point or another. 0 stars is don't even fuck around with that shit because it's disgusting.
I do have a question because
Ask it
what
away.
did we pay? $9.99?
This was, yeah.
$8.99. I think it was actually $1
It was $8.99 out here.
No, it was
Okay.
$10.99
down to
and
it.
$1 off.
Okay, so
on sale. So
it was
$9.
$1 more expensive, but it also came across the goddamn Oregon Trail.
Took that shit 7 months, 19 people died of dysentery.
I was just about to mention dysentery.
Dear God.
Jesus.
How does that not come up more in conversation?
I
Dysentery,
don't know.
tuberculosis. I mean, come on, guys. These are the issues we need to be talking about.
Covered wagons. How does that not come up in
You
conversation?
don't know what
more?
it's like to have to take care of a lunger.
The reason I laughed so hard at that is because I heard that some company just recently made an Oregon Trail board game, based off the original Oregon Trail.
That could work.
Yeah. And of
There's a
course,
lot
like
of-
the
lot of
tagline was
grizzly
like,
bear
"You died of
maulings in
dysentery,"
that.
so I just started cracking up. But yeah, so it's $1 more to ship it across the country.
Also, there's no state tax here. Or there's no sales tax, I'm sorry. So it might have been that much because of taxes. It's possible.
No, ours starts at it was $10.99 with $1 off.
Yep, $9.99 plus
I
tax.
try to give you the benefit of the doubt, Ohio. They
okay.
shot me down.
It's okay, man.
We have no tax on food, which is that's our thing.
right.
Pennsylvania's no tax on clothes. Tennessee's no tax on vehicles.
So weird.
Yeah, that's weird. So
Yeah,
we're gonna move on to fucking Star Wars shit.
So yeah, 3 out of 3 for the Deschutes Echuta Hop Slice Session IPA. Highly recommended for everyone, especially if you're trying to get into IPAs. You haven't liked any yet. This would be a very good starter. It has enough malt to remind you of to remind
Better
you of a
beers.
lager.
Did you read the thing here? Floral hop notes meet crisp lemon refreshment.
The
that's
lemon
citrus.
overtook the floral. I didn't get much floral.
That's a keen nose there, Commander Cody.
Yeah.
I'm not.
They fucking engineered
Just
this nose on Camino.
The pizzazz of the lemon is just.
Yeah. The lemon I wouldn't say overpowered, but it definitely took precedence over the floral. I didn't get a lot of floral as I
It's
usually do.
interesting that they're using lemon and not lime because usually you
It's
think beer and
blended
lime.
very nicely. You know what's crazy is the last episode I was on, we had some beer that it was like Mopar didn't like that kind of beer, but that
He
beer
liked
just
that.
happened to be one that he liked.
Yeah.
And this is one I don't like IPA. This happens to be one that I like. It's kind of weird.
We're just made for each other, man. Damn it.
Serendipitous. I should just be you guys as Patrice O'Neill. I'll call you guys Opie and Andy from here on out, and
Doing
then
it.
I'll make absurd, ridiculous statements that no matter how crazy they sound, once I'm done, you're like, he's probably right.
Yeah, I'm convinced.
He didn't stop talking for almost 5 minutes. It's all true.
Welcome,
Hey, don't talk about me right in front of my. Oh, you mean Patrice? Sorry.
Yeah.
welcome, El Mandalore to the chat room.
Again.
Yeah, so no, I like that. That's a good idea.
What the fuck we gonna talk about today?
Everything, man. We got a lot to talk about.
Hey,
you know,
have you
I have stuff.
have you seen Suicide Squad?
Wait. We gotta go. We gotta go way
Just
back.
I know, but let just as a reference, you've seen Suicide Squad?
So I literally.
The answer's yes or no, Patrice.
Just say yes or no. Just say yes or no. Because we're not gonna talk about this till later.
Okay, so I have not seen it yet.
Okay, that's okay. All right.
But
No, it's okay.
Just so you know, I was supposed to play hooky today and go see it with one of my coworkers, but then I got caught in stupid work. So I had to do.
he just cracked himself up. That's okay.
I had to do dumb work.
No, it's
so I
okay.
didn't get a chance to play hooky, but like
That's fine.
It's going to happen very, very, very soon.
There you go.
You have seen Captain America. You have seen
Batman vs Superman.
Batman vs Superman.
I've watched both of those movies at least 10 times.
Okay, good. But we have to go way back because the last time you were on
It was before Force
last
Awakens.
November, which was before The Force Awakens. So we have a lot to talk about, my friend.
This is a Star Wars podcast, by the way.
We are a Star Wars podcast, which means we're going to start this whole shit off by talking about Star Wars.
Let's do something more recent. Let's
Okay.
start off recent. So you've seen
You
the
wanna go
Rogue
in
One,
reverse?
the Rogue One trailer.
Okay. All right.
Trailers.
So real quick before we get started on that, so I have not watched the trailers
I agree
for
with
Rogue
you, but
One.
wait a second. This is going to happen
Right.
first.
I'm trying to
Go
Kanye you guys.
I got
Listen,
you.
I'm gonna let you finish.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I'm
Beyonce
gonna talk about-
had the greatest video of all. Sorry. So I have not watched that trailer for the same reason I didn't watch the Force Awakens trailers because I want to go in pure. So it's not that I'm sure that those trailers are awesome. I just don't want them to make me have something in my brain about the movie and then I watch the movie and I'm disappointed. I want to go in pure with the Star Wars stuff because I care about it.
That's a terrible idea because they do it right.
But I could really say something right now, but I'm not going to. But
Please,
the way
please say it.
no, I don't want
My
to.
skin is thick.
No, I don't want to.
The way they do it is they do it properly. They're not going to show main things. Actually,
No,
the international one,
That's a good idea.
the international one kind of let something slip, and I was kind of mad that I knew it.
It had one additional little line. And that
Yeah.
was it.
Was it the Black Stormtrooper? Oh, sorry.
No,
No, it was.
no. Well, now I'm not
Guys,
sure
real
if we
quick-
should
real
talk about it because you
Before
haven't
we get on to
watched it
Star
yet.
Wars, I'm wearing my Rick and Morty Collector's Edition shirt.
Still haven't
just
seen
because
it.
I love Rick and Morty.
Still haven't seen it.
But did you guys see their guest spot on The Simpsons? They guest animated The Simpsons intro. It was so good.
We never even
Look it
seen
up
Rick
now.
and Morty, let
Look it
alone
up
The
now.
Simpsons.
I've heard of The Simpsons.
They're
You guys
yellow,
watch
right?
Rick and Morty?
No. And no Simpsons either.
I kind of feel like we should just take like a 12-hour break, let you guys watch all of Rick and Morty, and then come back to this. But let's just continue with Star Wars.
Well, maybe before our next
Rick
guest spot
Sanchez
with
for
you.
president.
Before our next guest spot with you, we'll have plenty of time to watch Rick and Morty
This is
and
how-
Simpsons,
this is how
probably.
I like Rick and Morty.
Can
I
you
got
even hear
Rick
what I'm saying right now?
Sanchez's Flask.
It's flask.
Shit.
All right.
What was I gonna say? I had something in my mind, man. Anthony,
You guys know stormtroopers were using lightsabers in the comics now?
everyone's using lightsabers.
Like current?
Yeah. So we got Dim in the chat room. He said, stormtroopers are using lightsabers in the comics.
So I'm mixed two ways with this. One is like, I don't like everybody using lightsabers because they're supposed to be sacred. But then two, I'm like, who cares? It's a weapon. Soldiers in the military are not the only people that know how to use AR-15. So why should Jedis be the only people that know how to use a sword?
Yeah, well, they may have been trying to keep it sacred for a while, but if a
But they're all
soldier is trained
dead now.
in melee combat and they come across a goddamn lightsaber, like, you're gonna use it.
I'm saying, if I was getting attacked by like monsters and there was a lightsaber there, I wouldn't go, well, that's for Jedis only. I guess
Well,
I just have
especially-
to, it's my death.
Yeah, well, especially if you think of original trilogy or even End of Force Awakens. I mean, we're so far past the height of the Jedi Order. Jedi's a myth. I see a lightsaber, I'm like, damn, it's a relic. I'm gonna be famous if I start using that shit. Because Jedi aren't even real anymore, so no one else is using those. I'm like, I got a lightsaber, man. My friends are gonna think I'm so cool.
It's kind of like the next few generations are going to look back and look at cassettes and be like, dude, like there's music on a physical thing.
I like how you're
Like,
saying
what
the
the
next few
fuck?
generations, because most people don't know what the fuck a cassette is right now.
That's true.
That's true. The
Show
current
people
generation.
a cassette and a ballpoint pen and go, how do these connect? And people are like, what is that next to that pen?
Oh my God, I was about to murder an entire generation of humans because I saw a picture, a
Calm down,
Facebook
Adolf.
picture. I saw a picture on Facebook and it was a little girl holding up an old, it wasn't a floppy disk, but it was a hard disk.
Yeah.
And she said, look, someone 3D printed a save button.
You know,
We're old.
But you know what? No. I don't think it's that though. I think stuff's moving so fast that you can't blame them for that. They have no idea.
You can't.
There's
but
actually
it's
a
just
theory.
it's already gotten to that.
It's crazy. It's
they're not
crazy.
even
That's the theory
associating
on
it.
this.
Yeah.
That the technology, the speed with which technology advances is progressing faster and faster. And so the time with which it takes us to double our technological know-how gets smaller every time we do it.
Oh, yeah, it's
so
all
getting to the point
exponential.
now we're a couple years and we've already surpassed 1,000,000 times over what we had 10 years ago.
Yeah. It's all exponential. It's
Those
getting
numbers
ridiculous.
are not facts. Do not fact check me.
They are. No, they are actually.
Patrice is always right.
No, it's exponential. It honestly is. It's crazy. But yeah, no, I've seen. I've heard of people. DJs nowadays they have two modules that look like turntables,
But they're not actual.
which they use to match tempo and stuff, but there's actually no records on them. So young people have seen records, like, oh, that's like the DJ turntable thing. Well, no, that actually has music printed onto the fucking, to the thing in wax. They wrote
When's the
music
last time you guys
into the
actually
wax.
listened to an album?
Probably about a year to actually put a vinyl on.
Right, so I don't even have a record player at my house right now, but last time I was at my mom's house, she does, and we played a bunch of records, and I fucking missed that crackle and pop.
The crackle and pop is nice, man.
Right? It's
Rice
so
Krispie,
crazy
man.
how crystal clear and good our music is. Like, our music is like perfection these days. And like listening to the imperfections of an album, like a skip was almost like nostalgic. It was like, ooh, I missed that skip. I missed that crackle and that
Yeah.
pop.
I do too. I think there's something to be appreciated though in the perfection and the imperfection.
Yeah.
Like there's something to be really appreciated about bands back in the 60s and 70s that would literally go into the studio as a band,
With instruments.
record in a few takes, and that's what you have as the album. And at the same point, you spend a month on one song to make it as perfect as you can possibly make it. I think there's something to be appreciated about both of those, two different sides of the spectrums, really. Two different
so this
sides
is-
of the spectrum.
Exactly. And how I feel about it is the things that we do with music these days, like it's gotten to the point now where you don't have to be a lyricist, you don't have to be a good singer, you don't have to be a good rapper, you don't have to be good at music to be a successful artist. You just have to be a popular person. Because the producers are the ones who are really making music these days. And the producers are making music that's so good, it doesn't matter who's on it. The music is so good that somebody could get on there and just go, "How, how, how," and everybody's like, oh my God, that's my jam. Shots out to Future.
Yes and no. Yeah, yes and no.
Make it sound good.
I would agree partially with that.
Yeah, as long as you make it sound good.
Wait a minute. Aren't you a producer? You're supposed to agree wholeheartedly.
No,
with
I
that.
agree partially with that, man. But you know, if a producer, if a producer has self-respect and is trying to make the best music he can make every single time, he's not going to work with a whack artist in the first place. So it doesn't even matter.
It just makes it easier on the producer if you've got
I
something
said
to work
if.
with.
I said if.
So I partially agree with what you just said. From an integrity standpoint, I agree with you wholeheartedly. But
From a money standpoint, they don't always do that.
Integrity lasts about
Integrity doesn't pay the bills.
it lasts about 5 zeros. And then you add that one more zero in that comma. And it's
Let
like,
alone two.
you know what? I'll make that beat for producer or for designer.
Who would be the best DJ in the Star Wars universe?
Best DJ? A Jedi of some sort. They could
Maul.
match the tempo with impeccable skill.
Maul. He'd be
Man.
he'd be vicious on that
Maul.
shit.
Yoda. He'd be doing flips and shit off the album.
Yoda be playing some old goddamn like swing music. Because he's so old. Whatever came out back in his time.
Yoda would get it, man. He'd stop it. He'd like pull the music down and be like, "Pumped are you?
That would be hilarious.
I hope I never heard that.
Oh, say ha if you are feeling it." Come on, man. Yoda doing flips from turntable to turntable, mixing with his toes.
Man.
He's so small he could run on the turntable to scratch the
What I'm
record and then
saying,
like
he
flip to the
speed up
next
the
one.
record like best DJ Yoda is.
Sebulba.
Sebulba.
Who
So-
has 12 arms? What about the
Well-
Kaminoans? Don't they have like
No, they have two arms.
I
They're
hate
very,
'em.
very tall and thin.
fucking hate them?
The Sarlacc.
Shit.
I don't know.
Almost
Anyways,
have arms.
I don't know. I made that shit up real quick.
So what'd you think about Batman vs Superman?
Yeah, let's go. We'll work backwards.
Batman vs Superman hurts my feelings for a lot of reasons. So I watched the extended cut version like a million times because it's so much better than the original version. Like it's weird because I can't even tell you what's in there that's not in the original version, but it's just better.
I can tell you.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
Number one is everything involving Batman was fucking awesome.
Yes.
Wonder Woman,
Yes.
fucking awesome. I wish her theme music would come on every time I walk into a room. Just
Daily.
Just walk in a room, just dun, 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 dun.
I need to set that as my goddamn alarm clock. I know
I
that.
wanna backslap the fuck out of people with a
Yeah.
shield.
I'll wake
Just
up
I
ready
wanna
to
cut off
crush.
Doomsday's arm. She was badass. Also, we seen how real Batman was in this fucking movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like Batman, even though he murdered people, other than the future scene, he didn't murder anybody until he got tired. We have to remember this is like 48, almost 50-year-old Batman who's been retired for a decade, right?
Yep.
So when you watch Ben fight, he comes out like Batman. He badass. He disarming everybody and shit. And then at some point, somebody shoots him in the back of the head, right? Batsu breaks it off, but he's like, oh, he kills that guy. That's the first dude he kills. He kills that guy. And then he goes back to disarming again, and then somebody stabs him.
Yep.
So then he kills that guy who stabs him.
Yep.
And then at that point, I think he's like, shit, I'm old. These dudes are young. They keep getting back up. And he kills everyone after that. But like, if you really watch it, you see him get tired. And in the beginning, he looks like Batman Arkham City. And at the end of that fight, he looks like a really good fighter who is just surviving. He looks like the Punisher by the end of that fight.
They actually added that extra, the actual clip of him killing that guy that stabbed him. That was added. I think they originally stabbed him and then he just like disarmed him and walked away.
Yeah.
But he disarmed the other guy, kicked him off, and beat him up, and turned around and took it out and stabbed the motherfucker. Ah!
So
brutal.
So first of all, I'm not sure if I said it on this show, but I said it. Motherfucking Ben Affleck. I said he was gonna be a good Batman. That motherfucker is the bee's knees. My
I'm
new
saying
favorite
it.
Batman is Batfleck.
I'm saying it. Same here. Same here. My new fave.
Bee's knees. He's the cat's ass, man.
I can't wait for the new Batman movie. I don't know, Batman vs. Superman, here's my problem with it. Number one is I could have done without any of the Superman Lois Lane garbage. All of it. Just
Yep.
take it all out. Except for when Batman was kicking Superman's ass.
Yep. That's
Other
how I
than
feel
that,
too.
Take all the Batman shit out of there. Or,
You mean Superman shit.
Take all the Superman shit out of there. We could have just had Batman kicking ass and then Wonder
Yep.
Woman showing up. That would have been fine with me.
Yeah.
Also,
I agree.
Also, despite the fucking Martha shit, I actually really enjoyed this movie. I feel like I feel like Marvel's making hand jobs and DC's making a love story. Right? Like Marvel's like you walk in, you're just like, oh, this is great. And DC's more like, hey, let's get to know each other. Wow, you're really deep. I think I could spend the rest of my life with you. And I think that's the problem, is that we live in a society where everybody just wants to nut. Nobody wants to fall in love. I think that's the problem. And DC is trying
I wish you had seen Suicide Squad.
This deep story. Well, even Suicide Squad, so this is just my opinion. I don't know if it's true. I haven't seen it yet, but I feel like Suicide Squad originally was going to be cut a lot more like Batman vs. Superman. And then I think they went back in the end and was like, oh, we got to make it funny and silly. But
it wasn't that fun. I mean, it was. Captain Boomerang was pretty funny in it, but outside of that,
it should have been funny and silly.
I don't know about that.
So let me ask you guys your opinion on this. Jared Leto. It's one of my favorite actors.
There wasn't a lot of scenes with the Joker.
I heard they cut a lot of the Joker stuff out.
I mean, so just what you saw, what did you think of his Joker?
It fit the tone, and I liked it.
He was interesting.
I didn't love it.
He was kind of a pimp, gangster, psychopath. He was kind of those three words all in one Joker.
Yeah. It's not like you love Dark Knight Trilogy and then Batfleck just overtook Christian Bale. Heath Ledger's still top Joker, in my opinion.
So too.
But Leto, right, for what the tone of the movie was, the time period and everything else, the theme, I think he fit really well. I liked it. Wasn't my favorite thing ever, but I liked it.
He went in and out of that psychopath very quickly, which I liked. Because he would be like boss man sitting in a, well, spoiler somewhat, but he'd be sitting somewhere being boss man. Some guy would come in and say the wrong thing, and then he just went fucking psycho. And you could just see the switch.
That's the point, yeah.
You could just see the switch in his eyes.
Thinking back on it, I noticed a lot of Scarface in there too. Yeah. A lot of Scarface in there too. It's like I have this whole thing, this whole empire under control. And I take one bump of coke and I'm losing it. I'm like shooting my best friend and all that shit. Like it's that quick of a turn.
One bump of coke? You mean I'm gonna snort until I can't snort anymore off of this
one
mountain of cocaine on my desk?
One mountain. Baltimore.
Oh man.
So just FYI, I have a really soft spot in my heart for Jared Leto after Mr. Nobody. I think it's one of the greatest films in the history of film. Cinematography wise, it's beautiful. Like, that movie has made me weep.
What's it? What is it?
Mr. Nobody. It's a Belgian film that he was the star of. It's all in English. It's not in German or anything. It's a Belgian film though, and like it came out in like 2009, and it was free on YouTube for years because nobody went to see it. And then at some point in time, it got a bunch of steam, and then they released it in the States, and they removed it off all the free platforms.
This is the first thing I've ever seen him in as a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so you should watch Mr. Nobody. You should also watch. What's the name of the movie? It's a movie he's in that has a Shakespeare play name with Marlon Wayans, where Marlon Wayans, they're all drug addicts. Jennifer
Condoleezza?
No, Jennifer Connelly. Connolly. Jennifer Connelly's in it. Like, at the end, she's at some crazy frat party trying to make money, and she like does double dildo with this. Anyways, the point is that it's like Much Ado About Nothing or Requiem for a Dream. It's one of those, but
Requiem for a Dream is not Shakespeare, I don't think.
You lost me 20 minutes ago.
It's okay.
When you said Jared Leto.
I'm pretty sure the movie has a Shakespeare play.
I believe you, but I don't think Requiem for a Dream is a Shakespeare title.
That might not be even the name of the movie. Again, I just know Marlon Wayans, Jared Leto, and Jennifer Connelly are in it, and it's a very, very real look at drug culture in the 90s.
I think it is Requiem for a Dream, but I don't know if that's Shakespeare.
Right there.
So even if it's not Shakespeare, watch that movie. But go watch Mr. Nobody. But wait until you have like 3.5 hours. It's very long. It deals in everything. I love that movie. It has like 19 different genres. It's like science fiction. It's like time travel. It's like quantum physics. It's like space and time. It's like romance. It's like
one of the I'm on IMDb right now. For those who are on Twitch, they can see, and the recommended like similar movies are American Beauty, American History X,
Clockwork Orange,
and like Eternal Sunshine.
And Memento.
I don't think that movie's like any of those movies. I think it's recommended because that movie deals in very real, serious.
Yes.
Graphic shit.
And that's what I'm saying. But if if people also liked those 4 other movies, I think I would like it. So I'm going to put it on my list.
And with that comment, you're exactly right because I like all of those movies.
Yes.
It's considered a drama.
Yes.
Dramatic scenes.
Yes.
I love Batman vs Superman. I understand why people don't like it. Me personally, I loved it. I understand why people don't like it. I see the flaws in it. Just the stuff that I liked about it outweighs the stuff that's wrong with it to me.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
Also,
if they
but
took,
also,
if they
I've
just
been
got
calling
rid
it
of,
Batfleck versus Wonder Woman from the beginning.
yeah, I don't know.
There's something wrong about every movie for everybody in some little way.
Right. And for Batman vs Superman, it's Superman.
Well, for everything, it's
Fuck that Boy
Superman.
Scout.
For me. Yeah, for everything, it's pretty much Superman. Everything he's in, I don't like.
Save Martha.
That was, oh, God, man, that ruined the movie.
Why did you say that name?
I know.
That's
I know.
his mama's name. We're
I
best
know.
friends now.
Best friends.
Really, Batman?
your
Really?
back,
Did you
bro.
forget about them motherfuckers he just murdered?
Oh my God.
Here we go.
Get him.
He kind of, dude. He had the epiphany that his mom's name's Martha. It was crazy.
What
but
happened, I like, and it makes sense.
He had the idea that he can, since he couldn't save his own mother, he can save this
Yes.
guy's mother. Come
That
on.
makes sense. I like it. It's just Superman getting choked and saying, "Murder, save Martha." I can't get over that.
He should just killed him.
I can't get over that.
Yeah. So here's
I
here's what
understand Batman's line of thought. I understand
They
that
should be
100%.
lucky
But
I'm not the one who made this movie because if I made the movie, Batman would have plunged that kryptonite spear right into Superman's chest. Then he would have went and saved Martha, and he would have felt shitty about killing Superman forever.
Yeah.
He would have saved Martha, but he would have killed Superman.
that would have been
Because-
a lot better.
because
of a,
Doomsday would have walked the fuck in and killed everything.
Well, I was going to say that would
Actually,
have.
let's give some credit where credit's due. Because Superman was off fucking with Lois Lane, and Wonder Woman was putting hands on Doomsday. And Batman, also, we seen how human Batman was in that Doomsday fight. So okay, he's like, I gotta get Doomsday back to Gotham to get the spear. So he's flying, Doomsday shoots him out of the air, Batman crashes, Doomsday lands in front of him, Batman just goes, oh shit,
Yeah.
I'm a human.
He gets
and
out of
then
the fucking
Wonder
way.
Woman comes down, boom. I love that fucking song, guys. I love it. I want it to play every time I walk into an.
That's what I said. It's my alarm clock. I'm setting it tonight. Thank you, Hans.
I want that shit to play for me
Thank
all the
you,
time.
Hans.
I want people to hear that music and be like, yo, that dude's a badass. You hear that music?
Yeah.
But so she comes down, she saves his ass, and then the Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are standing there, and they're all doing their badass stance, like we're badasses, and Doomsday gets ready to explode for some
Justice
inexplicable
League.
reason.
Yeah.
And so when Doomsday gets ready to explode, you see how tough they are. Superman just goes, I'll take it on the chin because I'm Superman. And Wonder Woman's just like, shield that shit. And Batman's like, holy fuck, and it runs and jumps behind some shit. And then during the fight, like Superman and Wonder Woman are like going to fucking war with Doomsday, and Batman's like peeking out behind rocks like, not time yet.
Yep.
Well, I like that because
Not time yet.
if you think about Batman,
This is my moment. Boom. That's my
Bat-
one shot. Back to
Yeah.
hiding.
yeah, the Batman
I
movies
loved
that
it.
we've seen, like we haven't, as they said, like we haven't seen a
He hasn't gone up against.
superhero against Batman in any of
super
his movies
villain.
or anything, or
Super
villain.
villain.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
He hasn't gone up against any metahumans.
Right. Yeah, we haven't seen that at all. So it was cool to see him like, I cannot touch this guy. I'm getting the fuck out of the way.
Well, what would Doomsday be considered? Meta. Super.
Doomsday would
Goddamn
be
alien.
considered one of the most powerful creatures in the universe. See, the best thing about Doomsday is that now that Superman has killed him with that kryptonite spear, he can no longer die from kryptonite. He probably can never be stabbed again either. That motherfucker's so dope. Like, in the comic books, he's not dead. They just tied him to a rock and threw him into space because there's nothing you can do. When you kill him, he comes back and whatever killed him can no longer kill him. He's immune to all Superman's powers now, including punch, because he died from a punch. So now Superman can't punch him to death no more.
Superman,
they
use
had to
punch.
just tie him up and throw him into space because he's that powerful. Except for in the alternate universe where Superman just lobotomized him.
Do you think
I
they're
like
gonna?
that Superman.
So all right. So you just said in the comics that if he gets killed, he comes back and can't get killed the same way. Do you think they're gonna do that in the movie universe though?
no, I think he's dead.
I don't think so
I think
because
he's
they
gone.
ruined him. I think that whole explosion thing basically gave Doomsday a one movie lease.
Yeah. Well, and that's what a
That
lot of
whole-
people said about Ultron too. It's like Ultron at the end of the day probably should have been more than one movie as a storyline, but they just got rid of him in one thing and now he's gone.
Yeah, but the
He's not
beauty of
coming back.
Ultron is that is he gone? He's probably in Tony Stark's suit right now, just waiting.
Well, that's the weird thing is because he's like kind of AI, so like he could just be floating around the fucking interwebs.
That motherfucker's with that black dude from Terminator 2 who's somehow making Cyborg,
Ultron's goddamn Zuckerberg.
just getting into fucking Cybertron, making Skynet. Did you guys notice that shit? That the dude making Cyborg is old dude that made Skynet in Terminator 2?
Oh wow.
Shit, I didn't
Miles
notice
Dyson?
that. Fucking Miles Dyson.
That
Miles Bennett
motherfucker's
Dyson,
making Cyborg.
dude. Is this kid still driving around fucking
Not anymore.
RC cars on
He's
the...
got a half an eye now.
Dude, I gotta
So-
tell you, thank you for bringing that up. Terminator 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time.
In homage to Miles Dyson from Terminator 2, we have to do just a moment of this. Yeah, man.
I love
Miles
it.
Dyson is
That's
fucking making
I did not even
Cyborg.
catch that. That's fucking awesome.
It's awesome. I wish that they would just have just like one Terminator skull in the background of that lab.
Just a little bit.
one.
Yeah, just for
Or just
the
the
fans.
hand. Just the hand. Isn't he the one that found the hand? Yeah, put just that
the
Terminator
hand and the chip too.
just in that glass case, in the Scrooge McDuck first dime case.
Yeah.
You guys ever think about Scrooge McDuck?
I don't, because I've never seen that shit.
I don't understand why Family Guy hasn't
just
done a
not.
Scrooge McDuck where they're watching TV. Because what should happen is Scrooge McDuck's like, here's my gold. And he dives in. And instead of diving in, swimming around, he just hits the top and breaks every bone in his body because he's jumping into fucking metal. Sorry.
It's okay. Don't never apologize.
I like Batman vs. Superman quite a bit. But I like it because I really enjoy Batman and I really enjoy Gal Gadot. See, Gal Gadot is from Israel. Natalie Portman, you're a fucking poser.
Yeah, Natalie Portman's American.
Show me your birth certificate, President Obama Portman.
She's from Naboo.
She's Nubian.
Nubian.
According to her, she is Israeli. She's like, I'm so from Israel. Get the fuck out of here, Natalie Portman.
I don't know if that's true.
Look at her name. Her name is Natalie Portman.
Was she
Gal
like
Gadot?
her parents maybe like she was born in Italy or in Israel? Maybe.
I mean, that's my point. Like, look, man, if you
Maybe that's true.
If you spent 7 months of your life in Israel, you're not from Israel.
No.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know Natalie Portman's life. Who knows? She might be there right now. She could be a congressman or congresswoman out there. Who knows? She's fucking Anne Frank's long lost descendant, and she's fighting for the rights of Israelis today. If I'm incorrect, I apologize, Natalie Portman. I just don't believe
She's
you.
not listening
You
to
need
this,
more
so
people.
you don't have to worry about that.
She might be listening.
Although
I hope so, Natalie.
Natalie, if you're listening to this podcast, I
We
don't
love-
mean anything personal against you. It sounds fabricated to me. And if it's true, I'd appreciate it if you would call me personally. And we can go out to dinner and talk about this.
But if you're not listening, what the fuck you doing, crazy bitch?
Make sure you're wearing that outfit from episode 2 when you're by the fireplace.
That midriff, I like it.
I would love to
you're
chat about your
Yeah.
Your origin.
And then make sure you get the makeup people to show that scratch, too. I want that scratch there.
Yeah, redo it. Ah! When that.
I'll be your Hayden Christensen. It's not hard to be Hayden Christensen. Come on, Natalie.
No, it's not
I
hard
love
at
you
all.
so much, Padme. Why would you trust Obi-Wan? I don't know what's going on with my emotions. I hate this fake arm. I kill all you Jedi. I kill all you Sith. Fuck you, Mace Windu. Fuck you, Emperor.
He was pretty
Hayden
much.
Christensen in a
That's about right.
nutshell.
Yeah, in
I
a
am
nutshell.
Anakin Skywalker. Oh, I forgot this one too. Never mind.
I forgot this, but fuck it.
Have
All
you
right,
have you read
I was
anything?
gonna bring up that kid from episode 1, but I think we torched him quite enough in the first episode.
What, Jake Lloyd? Or his friend?
Kitster.
Yeah.
Kidster?
Finish the race, of course. When that little.
That
Fucking
kid was the worst.
Dorito
that kid was
Jr.?
the worst.
Oh, this
I've
is
watched,
Jake Lloyd.
I've watched the new trilogy since that last episode, and God, that young Anakin just. I think I hate him more than Hayden Christensen, which is insane.
No,
It's
it's not
insane.
No, it's not.
I was mad at Hayden Christensen in Jumper for what he did to Samuel Jackson in episode 3. Like I was mad at Hayden Christensen. Also, let's not forget the fact that Mace Windu got his revenge on Hayden Christensen in Jumper, right?
I've never seen
Was it Jumper or
Never seen
Looper?
Jumper.
Which one was the one with Hayden Christensen and Samuel Jackson?
The one where he just like teleports, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Samuel Jackson's like a teleport police officer, right? I think they were called
Of course he is.
paladins or something. And Samuel Jackson fucks Hayden Christensen
He doesn't trust
over
him.
and over again.
Yeah.
Like Hayden Christensen has to do Anakin Skywalker shit to get away from him. Like he has to like teleport whole houses and shit. Because Mace Windu is tearing him up, and he's like, "This is for my hand." Angriest Jedi ever. He has some kind of stick that has like a line that catches him and disrupts his powers. And
Dimmis
he's got crazy Wesley Snipes Demolition Man hair or something.
Dimmis said Looper was with Bruce Willis.
Oh yeah, that's right. With Jordan or
It's the
Gordon
opposite
Joseph
type of character.
Levitt. So Gordon
Yeah,
Joseph
so-
Levitt with his cosmetics front
Joseph
on did
Gordon
not look like
Levitt.
Bruce Willis, but from the profile, you was like, oh, that's young Bruce Willis.
Well, that's Robin, right? Mopar called him Joseph Lenny Kravitz.
Whatever.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, is he Jason Todd? Is he the suit that Ben Affleck was looking at? Like,
Oh,
I wish
yeah.
Matt Damon would do this movie with me.
No, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's the end of Dark Knight Rises, right?
Yeah, but he was.
Yeah,
His name was.
right. So
What?
the theory is that
Yeah,
he
but
was
I don't
Robin.
think those
Robin-
connect, man.
The theory is he was going to be Robin. And so what I was
Oh,
saying
yeah.
was maybe when Ben Affleck walks through the Batcave, he looks at Jason Todd's costume and it has like Joker's handwriting all
Yeah,
over it.
but I
It's
think
like
they're just starting
Jared Leto
right
was
over.
here,
Yeah.
and then he looks at it like, oh, I wish Matt Damon would do these Batman movies with me. And he walks out of the Batcave and goes and murders some people. And so like, I'm just guessing.
Matt
I'm like,
Damon
he's
does need
looking
to
at-
be in a DC movie
we always
sometime
get
soon.
back to Boston somehow in our
Sorry.
episodes.
We do seem to do that.
Dirty
You know
and
what I'm
slightly
saying about-
racist.
You know the difference between
yeah.
Matt Damon and Mark Wahlberg?
No.
Nothing.
Apples.
It's just like a couple tones and some hair color, right? Like Matt Damon's like, "Hey, I'm Matt Damon," and Mark Wahlberg is like, "Hey, I'm Mark Wahlberg." But they have the exact same.
How's he,
chin.
does he play Mickey Mouse? Like, what the fuck was that?
A little bit. But I think Matt Damon has the deeper voice on purpose because if you look at his early shit, he's like, "I'm Matt Damon," and you look at him now and he's like, "I'm Matt Damon. I'll murder Matthew McConaughey on a planet to save humanity." Like that's just how his brain works, right? But you look at Mark Wahlberg and he's like, "What? I don't need to talk with a deep voice. I'll fuck you up. I'm from the streets. I actually can fist fight. These muscles aren't just for the movies." And Matt Damon's more like, I'm an actor, and security will escort you out of here if you cause a scene.
I like Mark Wahlberg in The
You,
Fighter.
Ben Affleck, we're
Fighter's
not as
good.
close as we used to be.
The
you seen The
Fighter.
Fighter?
I have seen The Fighter.
That's
Fighter's
a good
good.
movie.
Yeah.
Christian
Great movie.
Bale kills it in that. I'm not a big fan of his, but he fucking kills it. That crackhead
Yes,
friend.
definitely. He's probably the best part about that movie.
All right, so
Tom fucking Hardy.
yeah. All right, so we
Tom Hardy.
we got
Oh, did you see the theory that Tom Hardy is actually that feral kid from the original Mad Max, and he's not Mel Gibson's character, and that's why he's all just grunty and he doesn't talk?
I haven't seen
And it's
Mad
not
Max.
just because he's a terrible actor and he can't talk. It's because
haven't
he's
seen
actually
it.
that feral kid.
I haven't seen
I mean, he
it.
does that in all his movies, but in this movie, it's because he's a feral kid.
Can you hear us?
When I'm not talking, sorry.
I was trying to say we haven't seen Mad Max, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
I turned it off halfway through. I
The
was
new
not
one?
into it. Yeah, I was
No, I
not
haven't
into
watched it at all. No.
What? You guys don't like Charlize Theron films?
No, I don't dislike it. I just haven't watched it yet.
You guys should watch it.
I'm
So
trying
here's the
to.
thing about that movie. Don't
Keep
watch it
talking.
if you want a story or if you want to know what's going on or if you want to like enjoy it from a written type of way. But if you want to enjoy a cinematic experience that's just eyegasm after eyegasm
That's what
after
I've heard.
eyegasm,
Yeah.
then you watch Mad Max Fury Road.
I didn't think it was that good. I just turned it
watch it
off.
eventually.
I thought like, okay, they're still in the desert running, and now they're still in the, and then now they're in the where there's no water and they're running, and now they're breathing in the no water.
And then they made that one left turn. Don't forget that one left turn. Don't forget that.
Well, didn't they make a left turn and they went through a valley to more desert, and they were breathing
Did
the
you guys
shit
at
in?
least get to the part where that dude is on the truck?
I didn't get
See,
to the
look,
fucking
look.
credits, motherfucker.
Demon Spider has it right. Did you guys at least get to the part where that dude is hanging off the edge of that truck with like Lilu from the Fifth Element straps holding him to it, and he's just like playing the guitar and there's like fire shooting out that motherfucker, and then there's like those crazy guys like just spraying silver shit in their mouth and just tweaking out.
was so
I
That
haven't seen
movie-
the fucking Fifth Element either.
you haven't watched the Fifth Element?
No!
I don't know how good of friends we can be anymore.
Dimmis says this sounds like NASCAR. That part where they made a left turn and then they went down, they made a left turn.
That's because in Mad Max, they basically drive straight through the desert for 3 hours.
Couple
and there's
left
one
turns.
part where they're like, if we make a left turn, and they make the left turn, and then at some point they circle back around and get back on that same road and keep going straight.
That sounds like
That
some
was
goddamn
confusing.
NASCAR. Yeah.
That was their.
I'm ripping this movie up, but I actually really enjoyed it.
No, it's okay. I
think
do
you guys
plan
should
on
give it a
watching
chance.
it. I do plan on watching it because it looked awesome. I just haven't yet.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
for no particular reason, I just haven't made it around to it yet.
What I have been watching recently was I've been watching Shameless. We didn't really talk about it.
I only watched that first pilot episode.
Dear
me
God.
too. I never made it past the pilot either.
Well, I liked it. I didn't stop because of that reason. I can only
feel the
focus
exact
on
same
one
way.
show at a time. So.
Did you watch the U.S. version?
No. Why would I
What?
watch that?
The U.S. version's the better one.
Is it?
Yeah. Everyone says
see.
don't even pay attention to the British version.
Well, it's easier for us to relate to the U.S. version because we're in the fucking U.S.
They have better actors in it.
Well, when it's something that particular, like this is some like shameless family in like living on poverty and being drunk all the time. Like if you're in the
Not
UK,
just
you
drunk,
don't.
They're high. They're
you're
high
not
and
gonna-
fucking all the time too.
Well, you're not gonna pick up on all those like little, all
Nuances.
those little like small nuance. Yeah, that's the word, nuances. If you're watching the UK version from the US, like it's not gonna make
Well,
as much
you-
sense to you.
You will if you're into dry, witty, but not funny humor.
the
which
U.S.
I have-
version is not dry and no, it's not
No,
dry.
I'm talking
It's
about the British version.
Okay.
I happen to be a big fan of dry, not funny, but very witty humor. I think it's amazing. And so for me, like, I like the British Office better. I like the British Being Human better. Like, I like British shows, but that's just me. Most people look at it and are just like, how can you watch this? They sound like they don't know how to talk. It sounds like something's wrong with everybody's mouth. And I'm like, I agree, but I also enjoy it.
Well,
They
yeah,
do
I
sound like
agree, but I'm
something
laughing my
Dave
ass off.
William H. Macy's really fucking good
He's-
in
yeah.
or what the fuck we talking about?
Shameless.
I almost called it Reckless. Recklessly filmed by William
Careless.
H. Macy.
Recklessly
Careless.
filmed by Brits.
So we got to Batman vs Superman. We need to talk about Civil War.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
let's
Civil War.
let's just push that baby through right now.
So I was watching Civil War and it was like Bucky and Captain America was like, you know who I am? And he was like, yeah, I know. I seen the videos. And Cap's like, I'm going to save you. And Bucky's like, well, I'm going to use you as a projectile over and over again. And then I came and I cleaned up and I continued watching. And then the airport scene came and I came like 7 times in that airport scene.
Spider-Man was
Scene was
flipping around doing
awesome.
anything.
Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Black Panther,
Yeah.
best characters in the movie.
Hell yeah.
That
They
by far.
stole that movie.
By far.
Spider-Man was fucking awesome. Ant-Man was fucking awesome. Black Panther was fucking awesome.
Well, it's cool because they did Spider-Man so well, and it was cool because
Perfect.
we already have Iron Man and Cap, and everyone's set up for the most part, and you know their powers, and then they find this kid in a goddamn spandex, and they're all just freaking out like this kid is fucking amazing. He's flipping around like playing jokes and just
Yeah.
having fun, and he's just fucking people up.
Well, it's funny that I don't even know that much about comic books, but I know inherently that that's what Spider-Man's kind of supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the truest Spider-Man I've ever seen in film.
Yeah, exactly. No, I loved it. I mean,
So, over
Yeah.
or under, did Tony Stark have sex with Aunt May?
He did.
Aunt May was hot.
I mean,
man.
yeah, he's
And-
getting
and-
divorced, so he might as well.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean Tony Stark. I meant Robert Downey Jr. Did he have sex with that actress?
Oh,
Oh no, no,
possible.
Why are you so sure about no? He is Robert Downey Jr.
no. Yeah, that's the issue.
That's why he's
I mean, he
playing
could
Tony
walk in here
Stark.
right now and I might have to cut the video.
But the reason you said might is the issue.
Well, because I'm not a homosexual.
Well, Jesus, Ryan Reynolds walks in, your pants fly off.
That's different. He's Ryan Reynolds.
I would say the same thing to that.
As long as
Yes.
he's not wearing the Deadpool makeup.
No,
he
I-
could wear the Deadpool mask.
Just not the fucked up
Let's
creative
talk
face.
about Deadpool.
I feel like
We
an
don't talk about
avocado had
Deadpool.
sex with an older, uglier avocado.
Oh my God, TJ Miller is so awesome in that movie.
I'm not a
TJ
big fan of
is so
TJ Miller,
awesome.
but yeah, he was perfect in that.
I fucking love TJ,
He's
man.
perfect in that.
he's
What else is he
insane.
in, though?
That dude had like
He's
a
from
brain tumor
YouTube.
and he almost died. And the doctors told him that that brain tumor might be causing him to act irregularly. So he thought his funny was coming from the brain tumor. So he debated on if he was even going to get it. He was like, maybe I'll just die funny instead of getting this surgery. So he gets the surgery and like comes out of anesthesia cracking jokes about him getting a chunk of his brain removed and not being funny anymore.
This is
Fucking
the
love
actual
TJ Miller.
guy, right?
Yeah.
You're
Not
talking
the
about?
character, the person who
That's
played
awesome.
that character.
That's awesome.
I
Yeah,
fucking
TJ
love
Miller's
TJ Miller.
the actual
That's sweet.
actor. He's from YouTube. That's how far things can take you.
He's in that show Silicon Valley, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen that. So
he's the Averino.
Avocado.
He has some company that he says really funny every time. Like, are you talking about Evelino? And he says it like with an accent every time. But yeah, TJ Miller is I love TJ Miller. He's awesome.
Yeah, Deadpool was legit. One of my favorites.
Civil War was fucking, god damn it. Like, Civil War just made everyone who doesn't understand what DC's trying to do just hate DC.
That's what I'm saying too.
Like if you know what DC's trying to do, then you can take it with a grain of salt. Like, it's two different animals, man. You're talking about a giraffe and a motherfucking crocodile. They're not in the same genius of species. They're different animals, but goddamn, that Civil War, like, it is just like, I watched Batman vs Superman and I skipped through all the Superman shit except for when they Game of Thrones the courtroom. That's the only time I really look at the Superman shit, is when they Game of Thrones the courtroom, and when they you guys notice that?
Yeah.
Cersei Lannister had a lot to do with that scene in Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to watch Game of Thrones.
I got you.
New season, but you only need to watch 2 episodes.
I got you.
9 and 10. 9 and 10. So episode 9 of Game of Thrones, I'm off topic like a motherfucker. But
If you haven't
episode 9,
goddamn seen Game of Thrones, you better start from the beginning, because I don't want to hear this.
No,
only
I only
2
want to
episodes
talk
shit.
about episode 9.
That's
of the new
fine.
season.
But if for listeners, if you haven't seen it, you don't know what we're talking about, you go to the beginning, you put in the time, you watch the show.
Yeah, I agree with that. So episode 9 of this season was it was filmed, so the cinematography of that battle, the war scene, it was so fucking good. I shit you not, throughout the course of that, like, it was a point where I had Jon Snow's battle rage. Like, I was like looking around almost like, is somebody gonna fucking run me over on a horse? I felt his rage. Like, I wanted to kill people. I was like, get that guy next to you. Get him.
Yeah.
And then that part where everybody was being fucking smothered, like, I couldn't breathe.
Well, he
like,
was getting trampled. Jon Snow became like Jon Slush.
That was stressful.
The cinematography of that scene was so fucking good. I felt every emotional. By the end of it, like, tears were coming out my eyes. And not because I was like sad or anything like that. It wasn't like some beautiful moment. Just tears are coming out of my eyes because of all the different emotions that it elicited from me. And it came so strongly that at the end of it, I was shaking because my adrenaline had pumped. I honestly feel like that scene is the greatest cinematic scene of anything I've ever seen in anything in my entire life.
Did you know that scene wasn't planned?
I know. And the budget of it was like more than a bunch of movies. It was like $40 million or something like that for a 15-minute scene.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wouldn't say it was over and above any other scene ever, but it is crazy that entire scene cost more than an entire movie would have cost to produce.
And it took longer to film than most movies take.
And it's for a television show.
And it was all all practical.
Yeah.
Like, there was it wasn't a bunch of fucking computer animated shit. Those were people. Those were horses. That was real mud. Oh, that scene was fucking magnificent.
Yes, sir.
I don't necessarily think it was better than everything. I just feel like from a cinematography standpoint, I felt like it was the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But strictly from a cinematography standpoint.
Yes, I agree. We're gonna hold for a quick second. I gotta use the bathroom.
And I need beer.
You can chat. Hopefully
I'll be right back.
He keeps talking through us. I don't know if he can hear us or not.
I can hear you vaguely when I stop talking. I hear you vaguely when I stop talking. Don't worry. Hey, I'm going to go grab me a beer or two. I'll be right back. So here's the real problem with why I'm talking over you guys is because I'm looking at the video And you guys, your video, you're sitting there silently, but your voice comes through my headphones as I start talking, and then your mouth starts moving later. And so I'm gonna stop looking at the video, and then it should stop that whole running over thing, because I see your face and you're just standing there listening, but then start coming to my ear as I'm talking. So I'm gonna put the video down, and then that way it should alleviate a lot of that talking over you guys.
What?
So there's a delay between your audio and the video.
On Twitch?
And so, well, no, I'm looking at a Skype. Like, you guys are just sitting there contently, and I'm talking, and then I hear your voices, and then like a few seconds later, I see you guys start talking. So I'm gonna put the video down, and it should hopefully alleviate some of that me talking over you. I mean, not the natural me talking over you, just the constant talking.
That's fine.
over you.
That's fine. I'm cool with that. If you're on Twitch, you're still seeing us, but we took a short little pause. All right, so I'm gonna pick it up from the Game of Thrones chat here. Let's see.
Standpoint.
Yes, I agree.
With Tyrion Lannister at their side.
Yes.
I don't like those religious fanatics. I'm glad they're all dead, because they actually made me like Cersei, and that bothers me.
Yeah, it was a little disturbing. All right, so
Got
I'm
me.
gonna pick it up from the game. I'm gonna pick it up from the Game of Thrones discussion here, and we're gonna roll right meow.
Standpoint. I felt like it was the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But strictly from a cinematography standpoint.
Yes, I agree. So we kind of worked backwards. We touched Civil War, Batman vs. Superman, Game of Thrones even. What we haven't talked about as a Star Wars podcast is probably the biggest thing, is that we haven't chatted with you since you saw Force Awakens. That's one of the biggest things that happened to our fandom for a while. So we have to move into that area soon. Any other topics that you want to touch on first?
No.
Or should we just dive into that goddamn episode 7?
I finished the Plagueis book since we'd last
So
talked.
there is a topic.
Good for you. For real. Good for you. I'm so glad you finished that. It's fucking awesome, right? Great book.
It was all right.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Did you guys see my feelings just get hurt?
I mean, I'm not saying it was
I
bad.
heard your feelings just get hurt.
I wasn't saying it was bad by any means, but it was really, really cool, and I do agree with you. It made episode 1 and 2 a tad better.
Yeah.
Especially 1, because like in the background,
Especially
Plagueis
1.
was still fucking alive. Like in
Yeah,
certain
man.
scenes, they were describing Anakin bending down, asking about midichlorians. Plagueis is in the background, like, I wonder why he's bending down talking.
So you
I'm
can
like,
just picture that.
shit! I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my god, he was there.
Glass shattered.
Those books add so much context to those original. I mean, this is why I like the original trilogy. It's because I've read all those books.
Yeah.
And they add the holes that are in those shitty movies.
Yeah. Dimma is pissed that you said just all right for Plagueis.
It was good.
He's gonna disown you.
I've read better. That's all I'll say.
I mean, I can agree with that.
I really
read
liked
better
it.
also.
Yeah.
It was a cool spin on a Sith. Like, he wasn't just a raging Sith. He just kind of sat back and he had his strings to pull and he made shit happen, and it clearly happened.
Yeah.
Except just right at the end.
It clearly happened until Sidious went fucking insane and killed him.
Well, the best part is the twist at the end. Spoiler, but so Plagueis is the string. He's the puppet master doing all these things, and right before Sidious kills Plagueis, he says, "Bitch, you thought all those things? I laid those plans in your own head." Boom! You're just like,
says that
Sidious just
to
told
Plagueis?
Plagueis that everything you thought since I was here, I plotted, or I basically planted those ideas and thoughts in your head. You didn't think of any of that shit. I've had this
nasty.
thing planned since I was a sperm, you know?
Dude, that makes Palpatine like the
God.
Emperor. That is just like, he is one of the fucking most badass villains. I gotta go watch episode 6.
And what's so great about Sidious in that situation? He's like, you put it all in my head. Good to know. So now you're dead, and I'm gonna turn this dude into my new Padawan because he's the strongest fucking Jedi we've ever seen. And then he's gonna go murder all your constituents. He's fucking Kim Jong-un'd the Star Wars galaxy. Like, he was like, you know what? Go and handle my lightweight. Like, the reason why Anakin and Obi-Wan fight on Mustafar is because Anakin was there killing all of Plagueis' people. Like, he wasn't
Yeah.
doing that just for shits and giggles. It had nothing to do with Trade Federation. Those were Plagueis people.
Yeah, exactly. The one issue, what was it? I was pissed about something and then I forgot in my own
You're
rage.
pissed about everything.
Oh yeah,
Mopar's pissed.
freaking out.
Were you pissed because Jar
I love
Jar
that's a
was
goddamn
involved?
catchphrase now. Thank you, Lord
No,
Kerner.
the one thing I was kind of confused about, and I don't know if I just misread it or forgot it, but it never really talked about Plagueis and Sidious creating Anakin. They somewhat hinted at it, but they left nothing like saying
So-
like we did a ritual. There was nothing like that.
My personal belief is that Sidious had nothing to do with it. I think Plagueis made him, and Sidious didn't even know about it. He just had, and he just was like, Plagueis must have made this kid who's almost pure midichlorian. I don't think Sidious had anything to do with it. I think just like Sidious was like finding random cloned apprentices all over the galaxy.
Yeah.
I think that's what Anakin was. I think Anakin was a Plagueis experiment that worked, but Plagueis just never got to bring it to fruition because Sidious fucking murdered him.
But
the
Sidious
other-
knew who he was at the end of the day, though.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No, I mean not immediately. Like
Not immediately.
He met Anakin,
And he didn't take part in the creation, but he knew what, at some point, he knew what was up.
Right.
He's
So
like, oh, shit.
he met Anakin at when he was Palpatine.
A kid.
When he was Palpatine, he was like at a senator meeting, and Qui-Gon walks in with this dusty ass bitch, and he's got a bowl cut. He's straight out of the Four Amigos.
Very, very dangerous.
Dust storms, sandstorms. But you could just you
Those shits will
felt
fuck
it.
up all your power converters.
Yeah. The other thing that it suggests is when Plagueis was doing all those like Sith ritual scientific tests, fucking with midichlorians, I believe it hinted to the point that maybe the Force reacted and in a negative way. So Plagueis is trying to make the strongest Sith ever, and in doing that, the Force went into a flux and created this kid that was purely the Force on the other end of the fucking galaxy.
Well, let's transition into The Force Awakens by way of this. Like, do you think that at some points the Force itself just reacts to what's happening
Absolutely.
and just spawns something?
Yeah.
So do you think that the Jedi are basically ruling the Republic and the galaxy, and it responded by creating Anakin, and at some point down the line, such and such took place, and the Force responded by creating Rey?
100%.
The
know
ray
what
of
I mean?
I
the
don't know,
ray
I
of
don't know
hope.
about creating Rey, but I
Well,
agree
just
with
as a general theory of, as opposed to Plagueis creating Anakin, it was a
Force.
reaction by the Force to what was going on, which makes it possible because we still don't know about Rey. I guess we'll find out in
short
like
of the Rey aspect of that, I
15
agree with
months.
everything you just said, and I think that's a very valid. I think you posit a very valid idea. I think short of Rey, all that stuff you just said sounds very plausible to me, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if that's the truth.
Yeah.
I was just ready to ask you guys, how do you think Rey fits into all this?
I think her mind was wiped.
well,
I think she was a trained Jedi.
Did you get it from the ominous stare that Hamill just
I'm thinking very, very, very simple terms. I really do still think that she is Luke's daughter.
is that why he looked at her like that? He was like, man, you look just like this chick I used to bang out in Deadwood.
I was gonna say, he's like, are you my daughter, kind of, but I'm a little turned
He's like,
on. I don't know how to
I
handle
just got
this.
done jerking off 5 minutes ago. You didn't see any of that, did you?
It's fucking Scottish
I
Highlands.
thought I was alone on this shit. You come, trail booting.
There's a lot of fuckery. Not fuckery. There's a lot of like craziness that could happen, but trail boots.
Trail boot.
Trail boots.
all you see is Mopar only wearing boots, just facing that Heath Ledger poster, just
Well,
just a shirt, just Winnie the Pooh style shirt, no pants,
Yep.
no bottoms.
There's a lot of shit that could happen, but I'm going very, very like simplistic plot. I really do at the end of the day, after I bullshit about everything else, I really do think that she's just Luke's daughter.
Mara Jade and Luke's daughter, or some unknown?
It's Legends now, so it could be Mara Jade if they pull her back, which we know is possible because they announced the Thrawn book
And
recently.
also, I thought she was in some of the stuff that hasn't been turned into Legends. I thought she
Well-
was in some of the stuff that's considered canon.
Well, I think she's pretty much Legends, but so was Thrawn for a while, and everyone was pissed. But Thrawn, Luceno, James Luceno, right?
I don't know who's making it.
Lucero.
Luceno.
No, Luceno. Whoever wrote Tarkin.
I'm never believing your dusty ass.
Luceno.
You always make shit up.
Luceno.
What'd you
Me?
say him? Kyle.
Me?
Kyle Katarn. What did you say him?
Darth Mao.
Kyle Katarn. What'd you name him?
I make stuff
Catan.
up.
Catan. Kyle Catan.
I make stuff up.
Yeah.
You make pronunciation up.
So here's the misconception. One is I'm not making anything up. One is I don't remember anything correctly.
No,
Then
I'm
number
not talking
two
about the
is
story. I'm talking about the pronunciation.
Number two is I'm just pronouncing it the way I've been reading it in my head all these years. So if I mispronounce it, it's not because I think
got
that's
you.
right and you're wrong. It's
I got
because
you.
that's how I read it.
Who's
and I
the-
read shit wrong all the time.
Who's the white girl with 2 lightsabers from the Clone Wars?
Os Ventress?
Point
Well,
exactly.
all right. Here's the funny
you're
thing, though, because she is going to be a new pilot in the X-Wing
She's
game.
my third favorite character in all of Star Wars. I've been saying the name wrong for years. I know I say it wrong. Os Ventress.
She's going to
right?
be a pilot in X-Wing, and some of the guys at the X-Wing that we play all the time were Asajj.
What?
Asajj.
Massage my
when I-
ventress.
Massage my fucking ventress.
When I played World of Warcraft, my main character was a shaman named Diaj, and it was spelled just like Asajj, just with a D on the front. And I've used that character in every MMO I've ever played since then. I love Asajj Ventress. I love her, man. She's the greatest.
She's cool.
There's nobody else in the Star Wars universe that comes in, fucks Obi-Wan up 1,000 times while talking shit the whole time. You ain't shit, Obi-Wan. You ain't shit. Oh shit, Anakin finna kill me, and she runs away. But she like
That's what I was
but she
trying to
like-
talk to you, man. We were arguing about Obi-Wan and like Dooku and shit, and I was like, if Anakin was not there, Obi-Wan would have been killed.
Against Dooku?
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't have been killed. He would have just been locked up in a cage, and we
No,
had to
he
whisper
would've
to
been
a
killed,
moth,
man.
and the eagle would have saved him.
No, he would have been killed. Because you saw him flipping his thing over. He was about to chop his head off, and Anakin dove in with the
Everyone
lightsaber
knows-
to save his life,
Everyone knows that Saruman was not trying to kill Obi-Wan. He just wanted him to join him. He didn't want to kill Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was his grandson because
Yeah.
Qui-Gon was his Padawan.
Yeah, but he already tried to
Obi-Wan
get
was his-
Obi-Wan to join him, man. He said no.
What? No, he asked Obi-Wan to join it. Obi-Wan was like, "Nah, I'll just fight you," and he was like, "Stupid," and he fucked him up. And then
No,
and then-
when he got when
and
he
then
when
Anakin came
Obi-Wan
in like,
first
"I'm Anakin
arrived.
Skywalker."
No, when
Two
Obi-Wan first
lightsabers,
got to
big cheers.
Geonosis.
There goes my arm.
When Obi-Wan first got to Geonosis, he was captured by the fucking bugs. And Dooku was talking shit. He's like, he told him his whole plan. He's like, what if I told you the Sith Lord has control of the Senate? Obi-Wan's like, oh, I'm a Jedi. I can't believe anything. And he's like, join me right now. And he said no. And then they got to fighting later on in the movie.
But see, I don't think
Dooku
that's
was
what
gonna-
was really going on.
Dooku's gonna
I think
kill
what
that
happened
fucker.
was Dooku was like, "Look, Obi-Wan, you didn't fucked up all the biggest, baddest dudes ever, even though you supposed to be a run-of-the-mill Jedi. So here's the plan, man. Just come with us, bruh. Stop all that bullshitting." And Obi-Wan was like, "I'm British.
Nope.
I have to do what's cool."
The only thing I would say for Obi-Wan is the fact that
The only
Grievous...
thing, you love Obi-Wan.
But think about it. But the fact that Grievous is the Jedi murderer and Obi-Wan just... Haha, bitch. Like, with-
No, Mo.
So easy. So easy.
Here we go.
Grievous,
Show
first of all,
them!
Grievous was fighting Mace Windu on top of a grav train. And Mace Windu, his power in the Force, his one single superpower that no other Jedi really has is that shadow point. He can see what will end the battle right fucking now. And so Mace Windu was fighting Grievous on grav train. He's using the Force to hold himself on top of this train moving 1,000 miles per hour. Grievous is using his raptor-like claws, and Grievous is finna kill Mace Windu. Mace Windu sees the shadow point, uses the Force to open up his capris, and he starts crushing that sack of organs. And so Grievous has to just run away. And so the first scene you see of Grievous in the movie, Grievous is like,
He's coughing
because
already,
Mace Windu
yeah.
just almost murdered
Oh,
him
yeah.
seconds ago.
Yeah.
So Obi-Wan defeats an injured, fucked up Grievous. He doesn't defeat Grievous. Grievous is the guy who fights 5 Jedi Masters at the same time and walks away with 5 lightsabers.
Well, that's what I
Grievous
was saying.
a
And if you don't have, if you have not seen the Clone Wars before Episode 3, you don't realize how much of a fucking monster Grievous is.
Like,
Like,
he
he literally
literally...
murders and collects Jedi lightsabers.
Grievous and Asajj Ventress used to like every time they ran into each other, they'd be like, "I got 7 new lightsabers. I got 5 new lightsabers." Like they did that
I
every
got a
time.
holographic one.
Grievous did not get
Fucking
justice
first
in the movies. I
edition,
hate how they
bitch.
made Grievous look in the movies.
I agree. I agree. This is an issue with Star Wars in general. If you only watch the movies, you're only getting like 20% of the entire story.
I feel like
so you just have to kind of like accept that.
Other than Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back, the movies are the worst part of Star Wars, in my opinion.
Well, you can't say worst.
Not worst.
What's worse than the movies? Short of those two I just mentioned.
I mean, there's bad.
There's
books.
some books that are pretty bad. I'm sure there's comics that are pretty
like
bad.
Young adult books. Name one book that
it's
has
part
over
of the-
400 pages. That's bad.
A
Star Wars book.
I don't
400
wanna
pages.
say
That's
it.
bad.
I don't know,
like the
man.
guy.
I like
The young adult books suck.
some of the older expanded universe books are kind of bad.
That's true. And then
Allegiance was bad.
You know what? You've convinced me because you somehow unlocked my own memory. There are some horrible books from a while ago.
Yeah.
Especially like the ones that are like directly after the end of the movies that are from like the 70s.
Yep.
Some of those really suck.
Yeah. Well, and I wouldn't say like, if you think Star Wars, if you think the movies are 10% of the overall content of Star Wars,
They have to. People going into that.
That doesn't mean
Are
that
they
they're
even
like.
10%?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I would say like, yeah, like.
Well, now they are since they erased 85% of it.
But I would say that they're
Now they're
10%.
50%.
They're 10% of the amount of content, but there's still, in terms of a lot of fans' eyes, there's still a big chunk of
Oh, yeah.
what makes up the universe for that fan. You know what I mean?
Well, many fans like Danny Beck see the movies as that's it.
Well, you could literally watch all 7 movies, and that's Star Wars. You
Yeah.
don't have to dive into anything else, and that can still be Star Wars. That's like the good and the bad about the movies.
Have you guys read those Scoundrels and what is it? Scoundrels and Criminals, or it's like these books where like Han Solo and Lando and like a bunch of other like just criminal, like it's like Ocean 11 Star Wars books.
Tales of the Cantina.
Nah, they're like called Scoundrels and Rogues, or Rogues and Scoundrels, or something like that. And like it's like Han
Squadron
and
Balkans?
Chewie and Lando, and like Han and Lando ain't friends because what Lando did in Sky City, but they working together because they need to make this big hit. And they like rob a casino, and they got like they have like this specialist that like does this, and this specialist does this. Those books are fucking awesome. There's only 2 of them. I wish there was like 50 of them. Those books are awesome. They're like Star Wars Ocean 11 books starring Chewie, Han, and Lando.
Well, that
They're
sounds
awesome
goddamn
books.
100% like Ocean's 11, and I hope Don Cheadle plays Lando, and I hope George Clooney plays Han, because that sounds fucking awesome.
Guys,
who's gonna play
that's not
Chewie?
funny. That's not
Brad
funny. Don
Pitt.
Cheadle is clearly paralyzed.
Oh yeah, I
And
forgot.
it's all that dude who wouldn't rap against Eminem in 8 Mile's fault.
Yeah.
Have you guys noticed that I see somebody for the first time, and then no matter what they're in after that, that's who they are?
Yeah.
Wait,
Like
the guy
that-
that
He
wouldn't
was
rap.
Papa Doc over here.
Wasn't
Yeah.
that Clarence? Wasn't that Falcon?
Mopar for the win.
Wasn't that Falcon that wouldn't
Papa
rap?
Doc,
That wouldn't
bitch.
rap with them?
Yeah, Papa Doc.
Yeah,
That's who he is
Falcon.
in the movie.
Yeah, it's
Papa Doc
Falcon.
in the
Motherfucking Falcon.
Mopar.
Look at him now.
No,
He's
so
an
it's like-
Avenger.
Fuck the free world.
Fuck the free world. So the real talk is spaghetti. So if you hear me, like the real talk is this. I'm like, did you guys see when motherfucking Count Dooku killed Gandalf and then Agent Smith was there? Cause like in my
You just
mind,
throw every character together, yeah.
right? In my mind, like he is Saruman, but he's really Count Dooku. And then
Well-
like in my mind, like he is Magneto. He's
Yeah.
really Gandalf.
Well, it does bug me when really awesome actors play really important high-level characters in totally different universes.
Well, I
Like,
guess
it
you
does
have-
bug me, the fact that you have Gandalf is Magneto. Like, those are old, sage, very powerful characters in 2 completely fucking different universes. Like,
So-
it kind of drives me nuts.
But this only happens when the actors are really, really good actors.
True. I mean,
Because
yeah.
Samuel Jackson is in everything. And he's just Samuel Jackson. It's like,
Well, he was
hey, you know,
already
like-
in everything before he was in Star Wars, so that's I'm fine with that because there was a precedent set.
But here's the thing. When I see Samuel Jackson, I don't go, hey, there's Jackie Brown. I go, hey, there's Samuel Jackson. When I see Shaft, I don't go, hey, there's Shaft. I say, hey, there's Samuel Jackson. When I see Star Wars, I don't go, hey, there's Mace Windu. I go, hey, there's Samuel Jackson.
Yep.
He's the only Jedi yelling at people.
Yep.
I don't trust him.
Seriously. Like the council's like, we need to meditate on this. And he's like, we don't need to meditate. Fuck that Tatooine kid.
Sick of all these motherfucking Sith. My
Right?
motherfucking temple.
He's like, all of these motherfucking Sith inside the motherfucking Senate.
oh,
Pissed.
man.
He was
He
so
was pissed.
angry. Like, calm down, Jedi Master Mace Windu.
Right. Have patience. Control. You must learn.
He was the only
control.
person in less control of his emotions than Anakin,
Yeah, that's actually kind of true.
including non-Jedis.
So now
And
that
Sith.
we're on Star Wars talk, we gotta go to Force Awakens because it's been about an
7,
hour and 15 minutes, and we haven't talked about one of the best Star Wars movies of all time. So last time we chatted, I think it was November. Since then, you've seen the movie.
I've seen the movie about 7 times.
There you
since
go.
then.
Just dive in, man. Just dive in. Your thoughts, initial reactions, what you hated, what you
I
loved.
wish that Harrison Ford wasn't such a grumpy old man
well, he's
and
on
didn't want to
80.
do any more movies. I
He's
wish
80.
that would have happened because I did not enjoy watching that at all.
He should have
Like,
died in,
like-
in episode 5.
Wait, you didn't
Me-
enjoy watching him, or you didn't enjoy watching him die?
Me and Chewie had the exact same response.
Well,
Like,
so
when
did
they-
I.
When they killed, when fucking Napoleon Dynamite fucking killed fucking Han Solo, I was in the theater just shooting my bowcaster like, I was like crashing stormtroopers, and it was like people that were like, "Hey, dude, we're just cosplaying. Stop attacking us." I didn't like that at all.
Well-
I wish Harrison Ford wasn't such a grumpy old goddamn man.
Well,
I loved him in the movie. I loved him. He was so good. Why?
He was.
Why?
But at the same point,
Mumbo jumbo.
it made fucking sense. It made sense. I was mad, but then I was
I
like,
agree.
damn
made
it.
sense.
That
That's why I'm
makes
so upset about it. That's why
that
I'm so
makes
upset
sense.
about
You're
it.
just mad that they did it so well that it makes sense.
It made perfect sense, and that's,
That's
why I'm
why you're mad,
Because
yeah.
he was so good. He was so good.
shit, they thought of everything. Fuck.
Motherfucking Chewie and Han. Oh my god! Like it was so
I know.
good. Like I remember. Like I felt like literal like just joy and euphoria when I saw them for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And then they bantered and they was like,
Yep.
"You're on my ship," and and then he was asking Rey. And Ray was like, I fixed it. And you could see, like, just that Han Solo, like, no, you didn't, bitch. And he looked at Chewie like, this bitch might be good. Like, oh,
Fix and
fucking
drove the
man.
crew.
I loved it. I loved it.
I did too.
I thought, I really enjoyed the way that they showed that none of the people with lightsabers in this movie were really, really trained. Like, they did a good job. Like, people were like, how could Ray be Adam Driver? He's a Sith. He wasn't a fucking Sith.
No, he wasn't.
He was a dude who had a red lightsaber who had very strong force powers.
That's
He wasn't
about
a
it.
fucking
Yep.
Sith.
Yeah.
And then people was like, how did Ray beat him? Well, Ray was the only person we've seen so far with actual martial combat skills. Ray and Finn.
Yep.
They were the only two people with
Yeah.
martial combat skills.
Well, she,
Yeah, people
she doesn't
tend to
really have
forget that
anything.
shit.
She just uses her stick to beat.
But the point is that because of
Monks.
the environment she came from, she's
Beat
actually
monks.
good at hand-to-hand combat and weapon combat. And so even though she's not good with a lightsaber, she's good at fighting with a fucking stick in her hand.
Well, there's a stigma that there's Jedi and Sith. So when people see Kylo, they're like, oh, he's a Sith. And then they see him get beat by Rey and Finn. Like, oh, well, how does a Sith lose to a fucking scavenger? It's like
Quinlan Vos-
you're not picking up on all the cues of the movie.
Exactly.
Rey
The
can
color-
take care of herself. She knows what the fuck's going on. Kylo can't even handle talking to
General
fucking
Hux.
anyone because he's like unstable.
Yo, Kylo Ren, man, that motherfucker was like a spoiled 3-year-old, man. That motherfucker was like, did you catch him? We didn't catch him. You didn't catch him! Fuck this room!
I love Kylo, man. I'm not
I love the banter between Kylo and Hux. How
Yeah.
they just they're like brothers and they just I did better than you, bitch. Snoke likes me better. I'm gonna get bubble bath later, you bitch. And he gets all pissed.
Get a special
The scavenger?
So here's my 2 pet peeves. Number 1 is the Empire speaks in British accents, so we know they're Imperial. Finn is a fucking stormtrooper of the Imperial Army. The character, the actual person, John Boyega, he
He's
is
English.
from England. He has a British accent.
Yeah, that is
But in
kinda
the
weird.
movie, this clone trooper has a fake American accent. That bothered me to no end. It made me livid. Why would
That
you
is
take the
kinda
British
weird.
guy who's part of the people who are British in the movie and make him do a fake American accent? Oh, that bothered me. That shit was like, we gotta get black people to like this, so we gonna make them ethnic.
That is kind of strange.
Fuck you, Mickey Mouse.
That's really weird. I was about to say that don't you think the Empire in original trilogy style, the Empire was British accents and the rebels were American accents. But some of those rebel officers, like Dodonna, from the original episode 4, has a British accent. So that's not even true. So it's just a weird choice that they made.
Yeah, I just don't understand why you would make the British
I'm
guy.
not mad at it. It's just strange.
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
It's just strange.
But I will say this though. I really enjoyed the movie. I understand why some people don't like it.
I don't. I really don't.
I really don't.
Well, see, so here's the problem. So there's some people who watched episode 4. They watched A New Hope in the theater, and it was the first thing ever from Star Wars. Nobody even knew what the fuck it was. Nobody was even going to see it at first.
Mm-hmm.
And those people are like, this is just a rehash of the new movie. I don't like it. I like my original. And I get why they would assume that, and I get why they feel that way, because they're so close-minded and locked into what they knew from beginning.
Yeah, well, I agree with you
see
there.
The new thing.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's a bad movie.
I understand that. And so those people, I'm just like, well, we won't talk about it no more.
But the physical movie looked great.
Motherfucking awesome. That movie was awesome.
Yeah.
It looks great. It's layered properly. The characters are amazing. Whether or not you like Kylo, it's a cool, interesting character.
Well, my thought on the whole thing is that it's 2015 when it came out. They're trying to find a way to
move on,
keep the Star Wars fans, to revitalize the older, grumpy Star Wars fans that hated the prequels, and to bring in new, young Star Wars fans. And if you consider all three of those factors, I think Episode 7 was literally the best movie that they could have made in 2015. Yes, you rehashed Episode 4 a little bit, but that reminded old Star Wars fans of the first time they saw the movie in theaters.
They rehashed it a little too much.
Hopefully sparked some hope into them. It's a good movie, so current fans loved it, and it had enough of the Star Wars spirit and adventure that hopefully younger kids, if it's the first one that they saw, they latched on and they loved it too. I think it was a great balance.
So I disagree
with
that they might have redid Episode 4 too much, or they rehashed. I don't think they rehashed Episode 4.
Oh God!
They retold the story in a different way.
It's the same exact story.
They incorporated people and things from the original. I don't think they rehashed Episode 4. I think this is a different entity. It's just very similar to Episode 4 because that was the magic that got the fans originally.
Well, I think they told a totally different story in the same way.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. That's what I was saying. If that's not how it came across, if that's not the words that I said, that's what I was trying to say. Like, they told the same story, but they told it in a much more modern and new way. And I mean, I'm with you. I enjoyed every second of it. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
I watched it 4 times in the theater, and I've watched it at least 6 times it's on my computer right now. I've watched it at least 6 times since I saw it 4 times in the theater.
Yes, sir.
Although the second time I saw it, so my wife thought it was a great idea to take our kids, right? And we had, at the time, she's pregnant as shit. And we had a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old.
Crowning.
And so we go to the theater with a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old to watch Star Wars. And I told her before, I said, this is a bad idea. I was like, I don't even think the 7-year-old is going to sit through this. So we get in there, movie starts, we're watching it. Everything is going. My daughter, before the movie even starts, is like, I'm done. Let me out of here. She lays down the seat and just kicks my soda into my lap. I'm sorry. Did I say soda? I meant my beer into my lap. So now I smell like a real drunk because I went to a cool theater in Portland that has beers. But she kicks my beer into my lap as she lays across 2 seats because she doesn't want to watch the movie. And so I convinced my wife, like, yo, go watch Alvin and Chipmunks with her. So they go out, they go watch Alvin and Chipmunks. Me and my son are sitting there. He's 7, and he's loving it until that monster got let loose with the Umbach dudes. Have you guys seen Umbach?
I don't know what the fuck you're
talking about. The Raptors?
Not Umbach, the Raid and the Raid Redemption.
No.
So
are you talking about on Han Solo's ship, the Raptors?
Right. You're right. So right before that happens, the 2 different factions show up, right?
Yeah.
Those Asian dudes.
Conjure Club.
Yeah. Those guys are from this movie called The Raid and another movie called The Raid Redemption. If you have not seen them, go watch them. They're 2 of the best martial arts films ever created. They're fucking awesome. But anyways, those dudes, like, they show up, and then as soon as those monsters got loose, my son got scared, right? But he's 7. He's a boy and he's with his dad, so he doesn't want to admit he's scared. Mm-hmm. So he kind of goes, Dad, I'm bored. Can we go watch something else?
The Raptors are scary. I'm bored.
They're kind of scary.
They are scary. And so I didn't even call him out on it. I was just like, yeah, we could go. But I knew that's what it was because prior to those things showing up, he was loving every second of it. But when those things showed up, all of a sudden he's bored. You're bored in one of the most entertaining moments of the movie.
I know.
You're scared, son. But I appreciate the fact that he at least tried to man up and was just like, "Yo, I'm bored, Dad." So I didn't say anything, and we took him out and we left. But
I got you.
No,
Man up, you funky bitch.
I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Welcome, Hit Head, to the chat room.
Hithid.
Thanks for joining us, brah. Yeah, man. I honestly, I really do think they consciously tried to
Make a lot of
mesh the current, the old, and the new Star Wars fans into one movie, and that I think it really hit too.
I agree with that also.
There's some really old grumpy fucks that complain about it, but I think for the most part, the people I've talked to, they really enjoyed it, and current fans like us, our fans of the show that we've talked to, love it. And I mean, I took my little brother to see it, and he loved it too. So I think it's across the board. It really hit.
But if you were to describe episode 4, and then if you were to describe episode 7 to someone who has no idea what's going on, there's
If
an
you told
there's
the
an
story,
orphan. There's
it
an
would
orphan.
be the same exact thing.
There's an orphan from a desert planet.
Yeah.
They get picked up, and they find out. Well, I mean, episode 7 is quite a bit more layered, which is the huge difference. But generally, there's a bad group of people. They've got this
Han Solo
big
shows up. He's real grumpy.
battle station, and we've got to go blow it up. And they do. End a movie. You're like, wait, which movie was I talking about?
I haven't twice.
But I'm
Also,
all right with
listen.
it. I thought they did great with it.
Let's not forget to add that in episode 4 and in episode 7, Han Solo shows up. He's really grumpy. He doesn't want to help, but in the end, he's the fucking hero.
It's the same thing that
I'm
happened
so
both
mad at
times.
Harrison Ford, man. Harrison
Why?
Ford and Bruce Willis are two of my favorite actors, and they're both like these just grumpy, hard.
Why are you mad at Harrison Ford?
Who just keep ruining my favorite franchises because they refuse to do stuff.
He didn't even want to be in episode 5.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, you were 30 when you started being grumpy and not wanting to be in the movies. Get it together, Harrison Ford.
I am not mad at him at all. I think
I'm not really mad at him, but just
man, fuck Harrison Ford. I'm not really that mad, but I just gotta say that I think the reason I disliked a lot of the post-original trilogy novels is because they just kept going with Luke, Han, and Leia. Han's 85 and he's hunting down a revitalized Boba Fett. That doesn't make any sense. I'm glad, spoiler alert, I'm glad that Han is dead. He's almost 80 years old. It's time. It made sense. It was the perfect time. He's gone. He's out of it. Regardless of what Harrison Ford thought or did for the franchise, I think the character itself just needed to be closed off.
Killed.
dead to me.
I'll say that. Murdered
You're
by
dead.
his fucking evil son.
Spoiler.
Adam Driver might as well just stabbed you in the stomach across the catwalk. You're dead to me, Cody.
What do you
I hope I see Watto in episode 8.
what do you
I hope
think
I see
about-
Jar Jar in episode 8.
Nope, I'm not going there. What do
He
you
can still be a Sith Lord, guys.
No, stop.
Still an option.
What do you think about Kylo? Because we've heard pretty much 50-50. I hate Kylo Ren. So what do you
there
thoughts
is
on him?
really, there's no middle ground.
There is no middle ground. It's like I love him because he has emotion and he's evil. I hate him because he's a little crybaby bitch. So what are your thoughts?
I love the fact that Ray fucked his punk ass up.
But it's
I
a
love the
diverse
fact- I love the
character.
fact that it was hard for him to even beat Finn.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Kylo Ren was the first villain we've seen in Star Wars that was just a dude.
Yeah, he
I
wasn't
wouldn't
all
say
powerful.
hard to beat Finn.
But he's just not all powerful. We
Right.
have Sidious, we have
Yes.
Vader.
Yes,
we
yes,
have
yes, yes,
Even
yes.
Maul. You could just see he's just ruthless and he kills Qui-Gon.
Well, that would be a good point to bring up too, because I feel like, all right, so if we think chronologically, we have the trilogy, we have the movies, and we have the prequels. We think Vader's the strongest thing ever.
Yeah, right off the bat.
Then Emperor's the strongest thing ever.
Yeah.
Right? Then we go to the
Maul.
prequels.
Maul.
Yeah, no. But we
Yes.
see the beginnings of Vader and Palpatine. Then we get KOTOR. Revan's the strongest thing ever because he can do this. Then we get Bane. Bane's the strongest thing ever because he could do this. So like every time,
Then we get
Do
Plagueis.
you
And then
guys
we get
think Bane was
fucking-
stronger than Revan?
yeah,
Yeah.
and then we get
Yeah, but Revan did shit no one ever did before him or after him.
Bane wiped out the Jedi and the Sith.
But that's because of when Revan came out, and that's my point on this whole rant. Because then we got Neelis with KOTOR 2, and then we got Malgus. in the Old Republic.
Nihilus?
It just keep going because every new
Yes, sir.
character, they're trying to make them that they're, well, I know Palpatine's this strong, but I'm going to write this character that's this strong for this reason. So finally we get Kylo Ren, who's like, I'm going to write this dark character, but he doesn't know what he's doing. And he's not that strong.
He hasn't figured it out
He
yet.
can't fight that good. And he hasn't figured it out yet. And he doesn't want to kill his dad, but he has to. Like, there's an actual struggle there, which when you compare it to all the stories we get about this Sith Lord, that he rose to power and he was a fucking monster, we don't get to see that with Kylo.
So again,
He's
it goes
actually
back to
going
if
through
you
the
only watch the
process.
movies versus if you read the books. Like Sidious seems all powerful, but he had a lot of fucking doubts. I mean, he
Yeah.
spent 30 years of his life just going, "Is Plagueis trying to kill me or is he trying to help me?" And then Anakin spent fucking 20 years of his life just going, "I don't like these new legs.
Yeah.
I miss Padme. Where are my babies?
Well, but if
Obi-Wan
you-
betrayed me.
But if you
I
haven't
killed the
read-
younglings.
But if you haven't read Expanded Universe,
I'm Hayden Christensen."
and you
Sorry.
watch, no, it's okay. If you haven't read Expanded Universe and you watch the original trilogy, the first three are just Palpatine working his way up. No one stops him. His plan comes to fruition throughout the entire process. And then he's a fucking beastly emperor badass.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, that's because Senator Clinton has the World Bank behind her. I mean, that's because Palpatine has Plagueis behind him. I don't know where that came from,
But
guys.
that doesn't happen. What I'm saying is that doesn't happen in the movies.
So when do you think Clinton's going to murder her Sith masters?
Now, let me be clear.
Now, let's just be clear here. Hillary is a great candidate for president. I know about 4 years ago, I said that she's a cancer and that if she was elected as president, it would ruin our country. But I've changed my opinion because George Herbert Bush has came and given me billions of dollars.
And I like that shit.
Yeah.
Obama out.
We have a hithead in the chat room says, Stormtroopers have no laser shotgun. Jedi can reflect one laser, maybe three lasers, but can they reflect a burst of 30?
So, like a laser shotgun.
A laser, like, just fucking burst. Yeah.
I like it.
There's 30 little laser pellets that come out. You can't reflect all of them. You gotta
Here's the
pick.
answer to that question.
Yeah. What is it?
In the books, no one ever uses a laser shotgun, but people use fucking slug guns.
They use projectile
There you
guns.
go. Yeah.
And what
Close
I've
enough.
seen in every book I've read about the slug guns is they either just jump the fuck out of the way, or they use the force to just knock them pellets out of the air, or they get shot. They block some of it. They block
most
some
of
of
them.
it.
I was waiting for that to go somewhere else. It was like, or they get shot. Fuck it.
I'm saying, like the only Jedi I remember ever just not getting shot by a slug gun and actually not getting out of the way of it was Kit Fisto. And he just like turned into this green whirlwind and just reflected all of it.
Well, because he tried to spin and he has so many tentacles that at least one of them got just like pinged by the fucking
Kit
shotgun.
Fisto,
thing.
man, that dude is so underrated, man. In the movie, he lasts longer than the other two Jedi Masters, but he lasts like it's just so when the Emperor first shows that he's a Sith and he attacks Mace, Kit Fisto, Tien, and who's the other one?
Plo
with him?
Koon.
Plo
Right, yeah,
doesn't know. Plo dies in the air.
Plo Koon,
Oh, that's right.
Tien, Sensi Tien, Plo Koon, Sensi Tien, and Kit Fisto and Mace Windu are there. And
No, it's not Plo
the
Koon.
Emperor,
It's
the Emperor does this like
Horn.
You know, he
Ethan
does
Horn,
like
something
ha
like
ha
that?
ha. I'm a good laugher.
Look it up.
And then he does that weird corkscrew thing, and he murders one of them immediately. And then he kills Tien, and then it's like 3 or 4 moves. So you got to remember that Jedi lightsaber combat was supposed to be based on samurai combat. And in samurai combat, if you go 7 moves against someone, you and that person are masters. You're the greatest in the world. And 7 moves is not like one move. No, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you go 7 moves before someone dies, you're the greatest swordsman ever, right? And so lightsaber combat initially was loosely based off of that. And so that's why when the Emperor fights them, he murders 3 Jedi Masters with ease. And it seems like with ease, it's not with ease. It's trying to show you the level of their skill. Mace Windu was definitely the best Jedi there. That's why he bested he was the best swordsman
Duelist.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he bested, yeah, exactly, duelist. He's the best duelist there. That's why he bested the Emperor. The Emperor is second best by far. And that's why the other 2 Jedi Masters would kill the many. Those are all masters there. Don't get it mistaken. They're not just knights. They're not Padawan. Those are all council members.
Yep.
And he kills the other 2 very fast because one of them is more of a fighter pilot than a swordsman anyway. But he kills those 2 very easily. And Kit Fisto lasts like 3 or 4 swipes.
Yep.
That is just to show how good he is.
Yeah.
But see, most people who don't read the books, they won't understand that. They won't understand that plenty of times Alice Ventures was about to kill Obi-Wan, and Kit Fisto saved his ass. At least in 2, maybe even 3 different books, Kit Fisto saved Obi-Wan from her. But like one time they were both fighting her and she was kicking her ass so bad that Kit Fisto was just like, we just finna pull this bitch into the water till she drowned. Like fuck lightsabers. Just pull her in the water. I can breathe on the water, bro.
Yeah.
But
we got Aegon, Kolar, Saesee Tin, and Kit Fisto accompanied Mace Windu.
Kolar.
Plo Koon was already.
That's the one.
Plo Koon was already gone at that point.
Got killed in Order 66 by his own.
Yeah, in the ship. That was my fault. Which, sweet fucking Anakin. He is the second best pilot of all time in the galaxy, and he gets shot down by clone troopers.
Because he's not looking for it.
Done.
He's not looking for it.
But he's a Jedi. He should know it's coming. You can sense that fucking laser
not
blast.
something like that,
But
though.
let me just give you a scenario.
Give it to me.
Let's pretend that you're Floyd Mayweather, the best defensive boxer we've ever seen.
No.
Right?
I don't want to pretend that.
But let's just pretend. Okay, let's pretend
all right,
you're
let's pretend
Muhammad Ali.
All right.
All right, no, let's pretend you're Mickey Ward, right? I don't know, whatever box you need to be. Let's just pretend that you are a great fighter, right? And you're really skilled at fighting.
Yeah.
And me and you are about to have a match. So you're getting ready for me, I'm getting ready for you, and then Mopar just punches you right in the face right now from sitting next to you.
Yeah, but that does not calculate the fucking force.
Yes, it does. You got the force focused over here.
No.
Absolutely.
They
They can't just be sensing all the time everywhere. It's not a goddamn
all the time, but it's like the fucking Spidey sense.
No,
If
it's
someone
not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Oh my god.
I agree with both of you, and I disagree with both of you. So here's what I think it is. I think Anakin was so focused on the battle that he wasn't reading the nuances of the Force. I think something went off like, and in his mind he went, what the fuck is that? It must be some enemies behind me. I should watch out for my clones. And then he got shot by his clones, and he was like, what the fuck just happened?
You mean Plo Koon, not Anakin.
You said Anakin.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I got you. No, that
meant
makes
Plo Koon.
sense.
But
The way that you
I
just
think
explained it
what
makes
it is-
sense.
Yeah, I don't think it's that the Force didn't tell him. I think when the Force told him, he went, that can't be right. These dudes I love and have bled with would never shoot me. There
That
must be
makes
some
more sense.
enemies behind them.
That makes
I think
more
that's
sense.
what happened. I don't think, see, here's the deal. The Jedis that were kind of shady, they didn't die during Order 66 because when their clone troopers turned on them, they went, I knew these motherfuckers wasn't right. Like Quillen Boss. Quillen Boss didn't die in Order 66.
Right.
That motherfucker was ready. When Order 66 happened, that motherfucker heard the radio signal and was like, what the fuck? And he was like, I'm going to give my clone troopers a chance.
He knew,
and he walked in the room and was like, guys, what's going on? And they were like, we're really sorry, but hey, that's why Yoda killed his clones, because Yoda is so focused and so in tune with the Force that even though he felt like this can't be right, he knew it was right.
He went with
and that's
it.
why Yoda murdered his clones before they could kill him.
Well, he was kind of skeptical of the whole thing from the beginning, really.
Yoda didn't like them clones in
If
the
you,
beginning, but that's
if
probably
you
because-
watch the end of episode 2, he's like he accepted it, but he was not on board with that shit from day
also,
one.
I think people sleep on Yoda in general.
Yeah.
Began
Because
the Clone Wars.
because he's a little old crazy dude in the original movies, but like, yo, Yoda is no fucking joke.
He's not a
This
joke.
motherfucker, everything you've seen every Force user do, he's either already done it or has the ability to do it right now. Like, just put it in perspective, those who've only seen the movies. Whenever you've seen Force lightning, it either murdered someone, was blocked by a lightsaber. The only time you ever seen Force lightning just dis-a-fucking-peer, Yoda was just like, I know that trick. Let's pull out these sabers.
That's true.
Don't sleep on Yoda.
So
Darth
That's why he'd be a
Crate
great DJ.
also lives through Order 66. If you don't know. I know a little bit. Darth Crate.
Was he a Jedi at that time?
He was a Jedi with Anakin Skywalker during the Clone Wars.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he lives through Order 66. And
Was he still called Crate back then?
no, he was. I forget his actual name, but his parents were Tusken Raiders. Yeah.
Oh my God! He's in the Obi-Wan book.
I don't.
I know who he is. There's an Obi-Wan book after Episode 3, where he goes to Tatooine, he drops off Luke with the power converter folks, and he's trying to establish his own homestead so that he doesn't have to interact with people, but he has to keep interacting with people to get everything set up. And those people are like, "Hey, welcome to the town. Come meet everybody." And he's like, "I'd rather just buy my supplies and go." And they're like, "This is the new guy, everyone." And then like shit keeps happening, and Obi-Wan's like, "Fuck, I need to just go back to my homestead, but I gotta help these people." And so he like sneakily helps them, and then he's like, "Woo, nobody saw me. Everything's good to go. I'll go back to my homestead." And then there's just like a kid that's just like, "I saw you, motherfucker. You're a hero."
I saw you, motherfucker.
And then like the next time he shows up, everyone's like, "Party for Obi-Wan, or party for Ben Kenobi. This dude's just like a Jedi. He's so magical." And he's like, "Don't you ever fucking call me a Jedi again. I'm not a Jedi. I'm just a dude. I'm a moisture farmer. I'm not a Jedi." And then in the end, the Tusken Raiders are like doing these calculated like raids, and it's because Krayt is there leading the fucking Tusken Raiders. I didn't realize that was Darth Krayt.
He lives throughout the entire fall of the Empire.
I know that, Cat. I just didn't realize he was Darth Krayt. I didn't realize that was him.
I think it's cool that they created a new character and kind of plugged him into the storyline.
Yeah.
It's like they created him, and he was involved with the Tusken Raiders. His parents lived with the Tusken Raiders. His dad was killed by Aurra Sing, who we see in the expanded universe. We see a little bit in Episode 1. He's
they made her
friends
look
with
like such a
Anakin.
fucking piece of shit in the movies, though.
I wouldn't say a piece of shit. Just like there wasn't really a place for her to
She looked like
to
a
do
piece
what
of
she
shit.
do.
She was like, "I'm gonna put some centipedes in fucking Padme's Israeli ass room," and then all of a sudden,
wasn't her.
That wasn't her.
It wasn't
Get outta
her.
here.
Aurra Sing was
That
on
wasn't
the
Aurra Sing?
Aurra Sing
that's
was
right.
the pod
She was
race.
in Episode 1
Yes.
during the fucking pod
Sniping
race.
with the Tusken Raiders,
My
yeah.
bad.
It's all good.
Who was the bounty hunter?
Sam
Who set
Wessel.
the centipedes?
Sam Wessel.
Oh, that was Zam. You're right. I've been
Yeah.
wrong before.
It's okay.
I told you guys my memory's fucked.
It's all good, man.
Aurra Sing is white skin with the red ponytail, right?
Yep.
Si,
She's
senor.
kind of a Jedi.
I didn't know who Zam Wessel was. I know who. I
She's
didn't know they
kind
had
of
a name.
Jedi, really? I thought she was
Aurra Sing,
just.
doesn't she have a lightsaber?
bounty hunter.
But she never finished the training.
I think she does have a lightsaber.
If she has a
don't know.
lightsaber, I thought it was more of a Boba Fett thing where she's just like, hand-to-hand combat
Nah,
or
she
melee
uses
combat
the Force.
thing.
She's just never been trained. She uses the Force, but just she can't. Like she doesn't use it like everybody else. She uses it more like an actual Spidey sense. Her Force abilities are very. I'm pretty sure Aurra Sing got some Force abilities. You finna have me googling shit in the middle of the show.
Just go ahead, man. Google it.
This
Yeah,
one
what's
I'm
up?
sure about. This one I'm pretty sure about.
The only unfortunate thing about you Googling shit is that we're about at that time. And what we need from you, my friend.
We have one last question, and it's got to be quick.
Before the last question, I want a rundown of your favorite Star Wars movies in order. Fans that listen to the show, we frequently give our updated order. Our favorite episodes of Star Wars from best to worst, favorite to least favorite. So
real quick,
now that you've seen 7, we need to hear your order, my friend. So my order, we'll just do this.
So before we start with the orders, I just want to say
Yes.
Aurra Sing, also known as Nashta, was once a female Jedi Padawan, but following a series of tragedies and misfortunes, she left the Jedi Order and became a vicious bounty hunter specializing in Jedi and political assassinations.
Damn.
All right, so if I had to run down my movies,
Yes.
what did I say last time?
I don't remember.
It's Jedi, Empire.
I feel like you said 536. I think that was you because you and Mopar big you got big bonus for number 3.
No, I had 3/3. It's Jedi, Empire. It's Return of
Interesting.
Is it Return of Jedi or Empire Strikes Back? Fuck.
5 is Empire.
I have not thought about this.
I
since that
swear to
episode.
Anakin, you said 536.
Nah, man. 3 was number 3. I think 3's better than A New Hope. I think 3 is better than A New Hope. I can't remember.
All right, well, let's just screw your last order. Now that you've seen 7, let's give
we'll
your.
say this. Right, we'll say this right now, even if it's different than what I said before. We're gonna go Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back. I still say Episode 3, and then Episode 7 is like so close to Episode 3. I wish I could put 2 in my third place role, and then I would go New Hope, and then Episode 1, and then Episode 2. I'm sorry, Episode 2, then Episode 1. And I know episode 2 sucks, but the good parts of episode 2 were much better than the bad parts of episode 1. Like
I
episode
disagree
1
with
is
you
like
there.
if Darth Maul is not in screen, it's terrible.
I disagree
That's
with
how
you there.
I like the
So-
pod race.
Not me.
The thing that saves
No,
episode
none of-
1 for me is that it has the adventure Star Wars feel of episode 4.
But they loop that pod racer sound too many times.
It's okay.
Whoa.
It's okay.
Yeah, I just don't want to hear that.
Hithead in the chat room says his
Snap.
favorite is episode 1 because of how young he was. Had amazing graphics when it came out. And it must have
We
just stuck
shit
with him.
on the graphics now.
I
but the-
don't anymore.
Oh,
there
God,
was
no.
one moment where we were like making fun of episode 1 for like 3 episodes, and then I went and watched The Matrix from the same year, and I was like, George, I'm so sorry. Holy shit.
It's astounding.
You had no actors, but those graphics were goddamn ballistic.
If you look at episode 1 versus episode 3 or the new one, yes, it looks terrible. But if you look at it versus any of the
Everything
original
else from
trilogy,
1999.
you're just like, oh shit. Like, you go back and watch episode 4 right now, and you're just like, I have to watch this 3 times just so my eyes can adjust to how terrible this looks so that I can actually enjoy it again.
4 kind of. But 5 and 6, they have a completely different tone.
Oh, I agree.
And they still
I
look
agree.
good. I'm talking about episode 1 compared to all the other movies that came out in 99.
Yeah.
I love The Matrix, but when you watch The Matrix and episode 1 back to back, it's like, guys, did you just create a goddamn Game Boy video game to show Neo jumping around and fighting people? Because what the fuck just happened?
You're not lying, because my favorite scene in the second Matrix film is when there's like a million Smiths.
Yeah, that's one of the big things that pops out. It's like,
But it looks terrible. Like, it looks like, oh, you made this with a computer. It looks awesome as shit, but it's also like, you clearly made this with a computer, but it's dope what you did with that computer.
as opposed to the clones, it's like, oh, it's fucking Clone Army.
Yeah, they did a good job with those clones. Like, especially
true.
when they show them like in Training on Camino. Like, it doesn't look like computer animation. It looks like there's a bunch of
Yeah.
that same kid there. Or a bunch of that same Django there.
Yeah. So back to the orders. You know, we rank ours frequently. If you listen to the show, you've heard that in the past. But they frequently change. You know, as we watch the episodes again back and forth, they adjust.
Guys,
I'm
I
gonna
think we're
go-
the only ones watching them over and over again.
No, that's not true at all. How dare you? Some people watch this fucking movies every single day.
Other than us, you mean?
Yeah, I'm one of those people.
I'm gonna go home and watch one.
I'm gonna
I
say.
said other than us. I'm actually about to go watch one again now, too, because of this conversation. God damn it, guys. I got
think
things
I'm
to do
about
tonight.
to go watch 7. My order as of right now is 7, 5, 6, 3, 4, 1, 2.
You think 7 is the best one ever?
Right now, yes, I do.
Better than Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back?
Wait, definitely better than Return. Force Awakens and Empire they're dueling for first place. But at this very moment, yes.
Yeah. You know, so that comment somehow jogged my memory. Empire is number 1. Return of the Jedi is number 2.
I tried to tell you your list before you fucking said it. I knew that was the case.
Did you try to tell me that? I'm
I
glad
was
you
like-
didn't tell me.
I was like, there is no way you were putting 6 as your favorite.
No.
With the Ewoks and the fucking
Empire
net,
is the
that
best
is not
fucking-
happening.
Yeah, Empire is the best fucking Star Wars movie
Yes.
in my opinion.
Yes.
I have to say Return of the Jedi is number 2. And then I think episode 3 and episode 7 are like so I can't decide
Yep.
which one's better. Like I might watch both of those movies back to back tonight
That's
so I
fair.
can figure out which one I think is better.
That's fair. Yeah, it's still 7:42 there. You got time. All right, Mopar, you're last up.
7, 3, 5, 6, 4, 1, 2.
7, 3, 5. Interesting.
7, 3, 5, 6,
Yeah, you
4,
guys always
1,
put
2.
3 higher than I expect you to put 3.
Everything happens in 3. I like 3.
Everything does happen in 3.
I don't care about the bad lines. I don't fucking care. Everything fucking happens in 3. Everything that I want to happen is 3. Fucking Darth Vader becomes Darth Vader in 3.
The greatest moment in all of Star Wars.
Dude, when he fucking tramples up with his dick out into the goddamn Jedi temple and he just starts slaughtering. I can't fucking believe it.
Wait, no, I'm not gonna say child murder is the best part in Star Wars. My favorite moment in Star Wars is when Anakin is talking to Padme on Mustafar, and I'm on beer number 4 right now, This is the fourth beer being finished.
You gotta know I'm calling you Padway for the rest of your life.
God damn it, Padways. Anyway, so I'll be Padway. I'm from Israel now.
Anyway, you're from Nauvoo.
Nauvoo.
So my favorite moment though is that Padme and Anakin are there talking to Mustafar, and like Anakin's pretending like he's not a Sith, like he's gotten rid of the crazy eyes, and he's like, Padme, hey, well, what are you doing here? She's like, let's go inside and talk. He's like, no, we don't need to go in there. Let's talk right here. And she's like, I heard that you killed some younglings, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking. And she's like, Obi-Wan was right, and he's like, why the fuck are you talking about Obi-Wan, bitch? That's me and you. And Obi-Wan is standing in the fucking ship, leaning like a pimp, like, did someone say my name? That's right, I'm here. Anakin, cut it out. You know, okay, fuck it, your legs and your arms, bitch. And then Anakin's on the fucking banks, like, bursting into flame because he's just too close. And he's like, I hate you, but please help me, Obi-Wan. You was kind of like my daddy, big brother. And Obi-Wan's like, nope. And just leaves him.
Love it. Episode 3.
My favorite moment in all of Star Wars. Like Obi-Wan fucks him, man. He hides on that ship. He shows up at the most inappropriate time. And then he just fucking cuts off all his left real limbs.
Yeah.
It was a real dickhead move. Don't get me wrong. Anakin deserved it because of his acting and his actions, but his acting mostly. But like, just
well, I would say the murder of children is more offensive than the bad lines.
It's up for debate. It's up for debate. And Hayden Christensen's acting or murdering of the younglings, up for debate.
Yeah, I mean, 3's good, but there's just a few things that I can't get over.
One.
Literally 3 and 6 they go back and forth. 7 and 5 are number 1 and 2. And then from there, it's like 3 and 6 are just dueling for that spot. Like, yeah, the goddamn end battle, Insidious and Evil and the Clone Wars, but then you got the Emperor.
Same
the
guy.
Fucking final battle in Death Star 2. But then also you got Ewoks. So then I go back and also got Anakin's line. It's just like they're just right there.
They get trapped in the net because Chewie was hungry.
Exactly.
What the fuck?
Depending on what day you catch me, I might say 3-6, 7-5-3-6. So
always thinking with your stomach.
it is what it is. So, well, motherfuckers, it's Rogues Watching Podcast. I hope you have enjoyed your time here on this Star Wars craft beer comedy. Awesome goodness. Thank you, Anthony. Wait,
what? Before we go,
I can't.
What about that goddamn ball droid?
What?
BB-8.
We didn't even talk about BB-8.
BB-8's awesome. I love him.
Her.
It.
I wanted to hate BB-8 so fucking much. And
Why?
you know how I feel about BB-8?
Amazing, because he's
I
awesome.
I can't wait for him and R2-D2 to have fun together.
He's the best, dude.
Get rid of CP3PO punk ass altogether. Oh, that's awesome. Get rid of CP3O's punk ass altogether. And just R2-D2 and BB-8. I'd watch a movie of just those two fucking droids just cursing each other out and beeps and boops.
And boops and bops.
They're like two
flops.
salty comedians. R2-D2's just like, what the fuck's going on, Jedis? You want me to hack into this goddamn terminal? Well, fuck it then. I'll do it. Beep boop. Shit, there's a virus. You motherfuckers. And C3PO is just like, oh no.
Goodness gracious.
Goodness gracious me.
I ended the podcast with as much profanity as I saved up.
That's perfect. Shit, fuck. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Day shoots, we gave a hop slice session 3 out of 3.
Our beer review for tonight was a 3 out of 3, man.
That's 2 in a row.
Get this beer. It's really good. If you have the shoots in your area, it's a bright yellow label. Hop Slice, it's a session IPA, especially if you're a not IPA fan and you're trying to get converted.
If you want to see what IPA's like,
step.
If you want to see what IPA's like,
yeah, if you're on Twitch right there, you can see it. Yep.
This is the one.
It's
if you try
good.
this, if you try this and you don't like it, just stay away from IPAs. If you try it and you like it, try some real IPAs.
Move on.
This shit is. I don't even like IPAs, and I like this.
It's good. We chatted about Civil War. We chatted about Batman vs. Superman. We chatted about Suicide Squad just a little bit. Deadpool just a little bit. And then a bunch of Star Wars at the end. Anthony, thank you for coming back on. Everyone enjoys when you're a guest on the show. We also hate when you come on the show, but at the same time,
Good day.
Yeah, I understand why you hate when I come on the show.
No, I honestly, you're one of the.
I'm the
you're one of the
Somalian
best.
pirate of fucking podcasts. You're like, all right, guys, we've got a great lineup of what we're gonna do today, and I'm like, my show now, just my show now. Look at me,
Taking
Just my
over. Listen, motherfucker. No, it's honestly great. Like for other people that podcast, you know, sometimes how hard it is to do an actual show over Skype. You make it honestly easy. Where like you sync right in with what we're doing. So we appreciate you. Thanks for coming on. It's been a blast. Any last minute things you want to shout out for? I know you have your own show, your website, whatever. Anything you want to mention before we
Watch
close
Mr.
this shit
Robot.
down?
Number one is watch Mr. Robot. That
Mr.
shit's
Robot.
awesome. That shit is fucking awesome.
Where can we
Like,
find Mr. Robot?
At some point, the twist star hit. I think it's a Netflix show. I don't know. I pirate everything. I lived overseas for 12
I'm
years.
talking
so-
about your shit, motherfucker.
Huh?
What do
My
you
shit?
have? What is your shit that
Oh,
you want?
it's my plug time. I'm plugging other shows
It's
and
plug
shit.
time.
You should watch Mr. Nobody.
Fucking-
All right,
you
so,
should watch Star Wars.
All right. So first and foremost, I do got to say this just real fast.
All right.
Stop listening to the fucking mass media. Black versus blue is a lie. The only colors that matter are green and gold. This shit is about money, and black versus blue is the distraction. Police are afraid. That's why they're shooting people. Black people, we're afraid, and that's why we don't respond to police with the way we should respond to police. This shit is orchestrated by powers that be. We really got to cut this shit the fuck out. Black versus blue is fabricated by the media. It's really about green and gold. It's about the collapsing dollar and the gold standard. Do some research on geopolitical. All right, so you can find me at tyopod.com. That's where everything will be posted no matter what I do. I'm actually working on 2 new shows that I'm trying to release as soon as fucking possible. One, the first episode I think will be out next week. Also, Burst through the 9 to 5. We took a big hiatus. I lost everything, but it's coming back. I've had people request to be on the show, so apparently it's wanted. So we're going to start recording on that also very soon. So Burst through the 9 to 5 will be coming back. And also anything I do will be on tyopod.com. Also, if you go to YouTube and look at tyopod, you'll see my YouTube shit, which is more of a hobby than an actual thing I'm doing. I just kind of get on there whenever I feel like I have something to say and I want the camera to be showing. Yeah.
Good day,
what I got.
Galaxy.
There you go. Good day, Galaxy. As for us, you can find everything at roguesquadronpodcast.com. If you want to follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, on everything else, it's at Rogue Squad Pod. All of our shit's going to be on there. Fans that are local to Columbus, Ohio, or fans that want to visit, we have events coming up surrounding Star Wars Rogue One in December. So the movie premiere. And a few days after the movie premiere, we're going to be here around the city. We got a bunch of shit happening. So just stay tuned for that. Mark that in your calendars and get ready because we're going to be getting crazy for that. Rogue One.
It's coming soon.
Guys,
Other than that,
Guys.
yeah, what?
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. I heard it wasn't as good as everyone thought.
Fuck those reviewers.
I'm playing Battlefield.
Fuck them.
Bitch.
I love this game like I love blowjobs.
That's intense. But I can't
This
talk
game-
about it.
So here's the deal about
wait.
No
Are
Man's-
we talking about No Man's Sky right now?
I want to so bad.
All right, hang
I
on a
read the
second.
reviews.
Just give us 1 second.
Good day, Galaxy.
Good
Thanks
day,
for tuning
Galaxy.
in.
We love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, what do you want to talk about?
All right, so fucking No Man's Sky. So I read all the reviews too, and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna spend my money on this. It sounds like it's a piece of shit. And then I'm in this group that's all gamers, and in that group, everyone is saying like it's not as bad as you think it is. It's actually really fucking awesome. You just have to have a computer that can handle it or play it on console, right?